science lessons learned in flight, journey on through endless night. For the stars, we aim so high. The projected kiss goodbye. For science and carbon light, we'll keep flying through the light. Rocket launch with hope so grand. EJ's got the master plan. Thrusters burn to reach the moon. In his eye you see the tune. Orbit dreams won't be delayed. Lessons learned from missions made. Kerbal Time will forge a path to the stars beyond this path. For the stars, we aim so high. The projected kiss goodbye. For science and carbon light, we'll keep flying through the light. Rocket launch with hope so grand. EJ's got the master plan. Thrusters burn to reach the moon. In his eye you see the tune. Keep flying through the light.
Okay. How's everybody doing? Welcome to the Space and Rocket Review. You two girls, tell your friends. Space and Rocket Review. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody is doing swimmingly well. Not a lot of space news today. Actually, I could mention that. That's kind of cool. We should probably mention that. There is not a lot. But I'm sure we will find something to talk about. Give me one sec. What was the song you just heard? It's AI music that one of my moderators made. It's called "Reach the Stars." If you really want to know, I can link you to the song, Goldrix. All right. When Starship launch, you need a hit. Dude, you might have a problem. You might have an issue, Trey. Jeez. Anyway, yeah.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Hey, Fed Up, 15-month resub. Thank you very much. Okay. Where was I? Oh, yes. So, we'll, there's a little bit of news here and there, but guys, honestly, it's not a lot today. But I need it! Not huge news. Starship has been added to launch services. Yeah, Kate, we heard about that. What was the playlist before the EJAI song? It was more of that Northern. It's just here. I'll link you up. I'll link you up, dog. The chill playlist is what you're looking for. It's this one. It's, I think you liked, one of the songs towards the end of the playlist. I woofed that shepherd's pie, I'm not gonna lie. Bree made shepherd's pie today. It was amazing. What about the factory that went boom? That's like my first thing to look into here. Okay. All right, so actually the first thing here is yesterday there was a launch. It wasn't really streamed though. So Vandenberg Space Force Base posted this. It was a Minotaur 4 launch. We thought it would be streamed, but it wasn't. It launched from Slick 8. There it goes. Pretty cool. We didn't really get much footage of it. But yeah, that Minotaur got out of the gate pretty good. They really didn't want any streams of it and not even a lot of pictures. Interestingly enough. So the NRO did report that the L-174 mission was a success. Pics, videos, anything, please. Yeah. So, yeah, I heard good things. So once again, we don't really know what it was launching, but yeah, Minotaur. We did a little bit of a deep dive on Space News the other day for Minotaur. It's a pretty good rocket. It's leftover Peacekeeper ICBM parts that are being used to launch peaceful payloads-ish. We don't know what L-174 is, but I'm pretty sure it's not a missile or anything, so better than the other reason we would have launched it, though, right? So that's pretty cool. So Minotaur is a Northrop Grumman powered rocket. Technically, Northrop Grumman owns this is the provider there for stage design. And a very interesting thing, yesterday, a couple hours, actually about 6 hours before that thing launched, an explosion was reported at Northrop Grumman in Promontory, Utah. Emergency services are currently on the scene managing the situation. Initial reports indicate that there are no injuries or fatalities at this time. However, with all ongoing investigations, details may change. There's no further information available for the release. We advise the public to avoid the area. So, I'm not going to play games here. It looks like it exploded. What site is this? I don't know, dude. If you get good telemetry at the first 10 seconds of flight, you could more accurately predict the payload? Yeah, yes and no. Yeah, no parking. You can't park here. No, sir. I don't like it. Yeah, so there's I don't know what building this is. I don't know what facility this is. I mean, we could snoop around on Google Earth if you really wanted to. There's not a lot of space news today, so if you guys want to burn some time trying to figure out what building it is, I'm pretty sure Northrop Grumman would be like, nah, don't do that. But, you know, we're gonna. So it's over here. So Promontory is up here. This is the Promontory facilities. Right here. Yeah, it's very nice. I think there was a small overpressure event. Yeah. So out at Northrop Grumman's facilities out here, originally this was before Northrop Grumman, it was OATK, and before that it was ATK, Alliant Tech Systems, and before that it was Morton Thiokol. These are the original Morton Thiokol factory. That's the factory where they make SRBs for SLS. Right there, this industrial site. They also have the test stands for, I mean, on top of the SRBs, right? They have the test stands here. And you could see the one that they used for shuttle boosters and SLS boosters. There's two of them up here. There's two test stands. Those are the ones that have cut a chunk out of that mountain right there. Pretty cool. So did a nuclear engine explode? I don't think so. I don't know what... I mean, I don't know what any... I know the test stands, and I don't really know much else. Like, I don't really know too much about this facility, to be 100% honest with you. I don't know where that gate is, where that building is. Whatever it is, it exploded. I thought the article said SRB. Oh, cool, Kate. I mean, it looks like something definitely overpressurized this building. It blew all the paneling completely off. I don't know. Is there a building like that around here? Like, how far of like, can we Google Street View? Like, how far can we get in here? Obviously, somebody could take a picture of it, so it's near the road, I would say, right? But even if we could pinpoint the building, guys, I don't really know what any of these buildings are. It's not like Michoud or Starbase or something where you can kind of figure it out. I have no idea what any of these buildings do. Yeah, I don't know. Is there a campus map? I don't think so, dude. I've never even looked over here. They're storing some kind of ordnance out there, but I don't know what it is. There's also just a runway out here. What is this? What am I looking at here? What the hell? That's... Whoa. Haha. Interesting. I was gonna say, it looks like they dug a sewage treatment pond here or something, but that's clearly not. It's clearly not a sewage treatment pond. Look, the jetway is still there from whatever that is. What is going on there? Oh, interesting. Wouldn't you like to know? Oh yeah, they blacked something out there. They definitely didn't want us to see that. So it looks like it's been tarred, I guess. That's just the yeah. Oh yeah. So once again, I don't know. Oh, that one. What happened here? Is that's kind of the same thing? Like, did they just dig a pond out there? Or?
Discovery, go at throttle up.
What is happening there? Yeah, guys, like I said, I have no idea what any of these buildings do. I have no clue. I know the test stands are over here. You can tell because there's, like I said, there's big scuff marks in the ground where they test all the big SRBs up on this hillside here. But yeah, I have no clue what any of Pac-Man. I have no clue what any of this stuff does. I don't know why you'd need a runway right there, but hey, whatever. Wait, how long is that runway? All right, curiosity here. What are we talking about here? A 5,000-foot runway? That's weird. The groundwater got to be ungodly awful from all those tests. You know this is like Salt Lake City, right? Like, the groundwater is butthole already because it's Salt Lake City. Like, I don't know, God, maybe. How did they transport SRBs for the shuttle? Okay, so they'd come down here, right? They'd go past the main gate, and then they'd go here on this thing that looks like an on-ramp. And once again, look, weirdly shaped road. Textbook giveaway for moving something heavy, right? So, and then you have huge radiuses right here. That's a pretty textbook giveaway, right? They tow the segments down here on a trailer. What is this? I don't know where that one goes. I found it. Oh. Huh? No. No. It's close, but it's not exactly that. And then it goes back here for the people that care. There's the substation for the facility right there. That's where it taps into the grid. They keep going. They keep going down here. Once again, this is on a special like SRB transport SPMT to move the segments. It goes all the way down here, all the way along this road, across the Great Salt Lake-ish. To right here. So the segments take a left on this road right here. They go up this road, and right here is the SRB loading terminal. That, you see all the SRB cars right there? And then from there, it goes on a train. All the way over here. The train tracks go to MIMS. They go right here. That's the Y for KSC. There's a staging area right here. And they go across the KSC drawbridge, right? They go down here, follow this track. This track makes its way through Merritt Island Wildlife. I don't know what that is, but that's very interesting. Makes its way through Merritt Island Wildlife. And the track will take a right here in a second. The reason why there's so many sidings here is because at one point they were bringing in RP1 locks. RP1 and locks to 39A and 39B. They don't do that anymore. Now it's been used for SRBs for a long time. That was the track that went to the 39A and 39B. This one goes to the Kennedy Space Center site. It goes down here, and then check this out. This siding right over here, if you look down the siding, that's where they kind of keep the They keep some consists there. And then there's another track. This track goes down here, right? And we're going to hit another Y when we get near the VAB. That is the Saturn V Center. And then here's the Y. The tracks technically from here south are abandoned. It's just this part right here. And then there's right here is the RPRSF. The solid rocket booster rotating processing and servicing facility. So they back the SRB cars in here, right? And there's a crane that picks the segment up off of the car, turns it vertical, and puts it on a processing stool. And from there, the processing stools go down here, through here, across the crawlerway, down here, around here, over here, and they go into High Bay 4 inside of the VAB. That's where they process SRBs. These facilities were all built during the shuttle program, but yeah. Yeah, they're working on ML2, and then the tracks basically from about here that way are abandoned. There was an old ordnance unloading area right here. So like separator motors, solid rocket boosters, stuff like that. There's still a consist down there, but I have no idea what that's for. The old ordnance facilities for like explosive bolts and stuff are over here. Yeah, see? Ordnance. Right there. That's where they keep like separator bolts and stuff in the storage right there. And then the tracks kind of stopped right here. Yeah, they stopped there. Now, that other track that I told you about that went up here, right? It went back down here, and then at Playa Linda Beach, it came in here, and then that railroad line came down here like this. It followed this road, and it had two spurs, and each spur goes into two spurs go into pad 39. They go into complex 39. This one's at pad B, but you could tell that the right-of-way is abandoned. But they used to offload hydrogen, RP1, and LOX via train at one point. They don't do that no more. But yeah, if you go down a little bit further, down to 39, you could still see where the Y, or where the siding was for the tracks. And, yeah. Actually, I don't know if they unloaded LOX that way. Maybe just RP1. Because now that I'm looking at it, the track doesn't go very far. And this track, the length of this track is not very long. Meaning a not very long train would just go in here like this, back up, right? Go back this way, and then right back up the line. Anyway. So I talked about over here. South of here, the tracks are abandoned, basically. They kind of still maintain the right-of-way, but they go down to NASA's old locomotive fleet maintenance facility. In the time of the shuttle program, NASA had their own locomotives. They were using EMD switchers, and they would, over on the other side of the KSC drawbridge, over here. On the other side of the KSC drawbridge, you saw all these sidings. FEC, Florida East Coast, would drop. They would just drop the cars here, and then NASA would pick them up. That's why these sidings are here. And they used to be a lot longer. See? And then NASA had a fleet of locomotives that would go get them and bring them back. And that was NASA's locomotive fleet maintenance facility. Yeah, they'd come down here. And then there used to be the track used to go that way. I don't know what that did. This is where they process the solid rocket booster nose cones. So like where they pack the chutes for the SRBs and stuff. And then there's another solid rocket motor facility over here, but that track used to go that way, but it hasn't been like that for some time. And then down here, you'd get into the KSC industrial area, and the tracks are absolutely 100% abandoned south of here because they ripped up that railroad crossing. And then the tracks went into KSC's industrial area. There used to be a bunch of sidings and stuff here for all different types of things. FYI, the building is at the corner of H Avenue and 400th Street. Space, check Twitter, just found some context. I need to see a train with a NASA scheme on it. Oh, okay. Hold on. I'm getting you a picture. Here we go. There you go. There's NASA number 3. Do you think SpaceX will ask for a rail line for Star Factory at KSC or just truck everything in? It's probably trucks. It looks good, man. Locomotive looks good in NASA colors, dude. I was feeling it was something similar to PepCon. Yeah. Yeah, this is from the Wikipedia page that shows you all the stuff that shows you the exact thing that I'm talking about. See, there's the RPRSF. There used to be 2 lines into the VAB? Really? Wait, what? There used to be 2 sidings that go into the VAB. Oh, dude, there it is. Did you see the switch? Oh! Those were probably torn up in the late 70s because Space Shuttle Orbiter processing facilities. You could definitely tell that there was a Y there. There's the right-of-way. Oh, dude! I don't know why this is bumming me out, but you don't want trains inside of the VAB? You don't want this? I want this. Huh. Contractor rail yard. That's the one I was talking. And then there's the KSC industrial area right here. And then it looks like that line from pad A actually teed into Titan ITL. Hold up. I gotta check this. That line split from 39A, and we would see a siding go this way here. Oh. Huh. Oh. Yeah, I know this siding. This siding tees into the ITL causeway. Or it used to. We may have lost trains to the VAB. We were promised trains on the moon. I don't know why SpaceX faffs about with trucking Falcon 9 everywhere. Just refurbish some railway and Soyuz that shebang from Hawthorne to the pad. Yeah, that'd be pretty sick, dude. That'd be pretty cool, Ryan. But yeah. Yeah, dude. I probably at some point read that this line teed into the ITL causeway, but yeah. So that a lot of that rail line was this line right here was forcibly removed Um, yeah, like if you go and look, oh, see, you go and look here, 2004, the line's just fine. And then, yeah, even as far as 2018, you could still make out where it was, but yeah, a hurricane had other plans. Yeah, see, beach erosion took the line. Yep. Yeah, so, oh. Yeah, don't. This is why, so people, like, often are like, oh my gosh, why do we got to do an environmental impact survey? That's so stupid. This is why you do an environmental impact survey, so that doesn't happen. Yeah. And then I know that this track goes all the way down to the south side of the ITL, and then it stops right there. There used to be a 4-bay processing facility here for Titan mobile launchers. There used to be 4 of them, which is pretty cool. And then the Air Force had their own locomotives too. Here, I've actually seen this locomotive, the ones that they used to pull Titan missiles around. Here, hold on. Give me one moment. Oh. There you go. It's an EMD switcher. They use that to tow the mobile launchers around. Now, ULA does something very similar with Vulcan and Atlas, but the thing is that they're track mobiles, which is... Track mobiles are cool, I guess, but they ain't no EMD switcher. Like... Here, in fact, if we go Titan... ITL Slick 40, right? We probably could get a picture of them towing one to the pad. This is what Complex 40 was doing before SpaceX got it. That'll work. See? It pulled the Titan mobile launcher. See the tracks? So question, how'd we end up with a potential repeat of the Pepcon explosion? I don't know. But anyway, yeah, a little bit of a deep dive there. Let's go back to Promontory. You guys said 400th and H Avenue? That's a great picture, Oculus. Oh, yeah, once upon a time, dude. To unbum you out, quick 45 seconds of JFK. I'll look at it in a little bit, dude. 3 of them. Yeah, I know, it has a 3 on the locomotive. Yeah, there it is going across the causeway. Yeah, you'll like this. Okay. All right, let me stop the links for a second. Let's figure this out. Where's H Avenue? Check Discord DMs. So that guy. Hmm. So where would the press have taken a picture of it? Hold on, let me check. Oh, that's right. I wanted to. This is Metrics Coronet. I wanted to show you guys something with that in a second. That's why I brought those pictures back up. Okay, so let's look. Let's deep dive this thing. See this thing right here? That's this is a heat exchanger or something. That's usually associated with a pneumatic system. I'm late. What are we looking at? That building, this building, it can't be that one. That doesn't match the shape. It's got to be that one. Yeah, see? There's that I don't know if it's a condenser. It's some kind of vaporizer or heat exchanger or something. And then there's a tank next to it. That building exploded. Nobody was in it at the time. It popped though. See, there's the there's that thingamajigger, and then there's the tank next to it. It seems like this facility has had something added to it though. This building on the side is not there in the picture. Oh no, that's just the angle. That's just the angle of the dangle. It's definitely there. Yeah, that thing exploded. That building's gone. It's in the shadow. Yeah, I see it. Apparently, they were refurbishing a solid rocket motor. Wow, that building's brand new. Huh. Huh. Yeah, this just raises further questions. It's gonna be brand new again. Twitter provided some context. Yeah, I know they did. Of course they did. It's a new building for you, Jim. Insurance is gonna be pissed. All right. John, what did you want me to see? JFK. What do we got? What is he saying? Oh, you're talking about the ship.
Discovery.
Not the person. I was like, what are you talking about, man? What do we got? I can't play that music. YouTube will get mad. Hey, Seven. Oh, dude, the cart. That is a electromagnetic assistant launch system mass simulator test article. Oh, please tell me it shows the footage. Please tell me it shows the footage. Please, 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 I need this. Okay. Okay, you were right. You were right. That cheered me up a little bit. Oh, that's awesome. So how deadly is it to take a ride on the sled? Very. Can I? I don't know why that's so funny, dude. Oh, what is that thing for? It's there to test the launching system, the electromagnetic launching system. It's there to test the catapults. See, they have another one over there. They're testing the catapults on the future JFK here, which is a pretty good indicator that she's pretty close to being finished. See, there's 3 of them. 1, 2, and 3. They're there to test. Okay. One camera shot is from Enterprise. I would assume it's that shot looking... Oh, yeah. Oh, there she is. This shot is from the Enterprise's conning tower. In the UK, some Stigs. Yeah, it reminds me of that Top Gear test, right? So these things right here, if you notice, they're a couple of different sizes. So what they're doing is they're basically obviously making sure the catapult works. You can't just dry fire the catapult. That's I mean, you can. Probably frowned upon. So those things are basically mass simulators. They are different weights of different planes. Like one of them is a fully loaded FA, a Super Hornet, not an FA. It's a fully loaded Super Hornet. The other one is an E2. It's the mass of a fully loaded E2. The other one is a Growler. I think it would be a Growler. They're the different loads that you're encountering, different maximum loads for all the different planes that the carrier carries. Yeah, it used to be a wide variety of planes, but yeah, it looks like these things you can configure the mass on them too. Actually, no, it's just a big block of steel. Yeah, they signed it too. Yeah, F-35, excuse me. It would have been F-35C as well. Yep. So that's what these things do. It's basically just a cart with some axles and wheels that they attach to the catapult, and it pulls it. It's designed to put maximum load on the catapult. They do that to rate them, to basically make sure that they can work correctly. Do we know the mass of the sled? I don't know. Are these new carriers? This is the JFK. Yeah, this is a Ford class carrier. Yeah, yes, it's new. It's a beast, dude. That ship's pretty much done, dude. That's pretty good. This is really close to being finished. You know, if they start putting down the deck paint right there and start painting the pennant number on it, it's pretty damn close to being done. Yeah, see? See the number? 79? This is CVN 79. So that would be the JFK. The 79 replaced 67. That replaced carrier CV-67. 67 is being scrapped in Brownsville. It's a shame. It's got 4 catapults. Every carrier since CVN-68. Actually, no, that's not right. Every carrier since 60 CV-60 has had 4. We have 4 catapults on ours, Sig. The cats were one of the things holding them up, if I remember correctly. Yeah, maybe. Does the sled have ballast so they can fish it out? I don't know. Maybe? Yeah. But actually, something important to look at. Look at all the sleds they have up there. See what I mean about different loads on different airplanes? There's a couple of them here, and then see how much more they have over there by the tower? I think I think they just go get it with a crane or something. You might be right, but I don't remember. Yeah. Over there is the ship that CVN-80 is replacing. That's the next one. If they turn the camera to the left, over here on the other side of this blue crane, there's a dry dock with a gigantic crane, and they're building CVN-80 right now. CVN-80 is replacing CVN-65. Which is the X-Enterprise right there. Yeah, see all the other sleds they have over there? This is a shot from Enterprise, as Lenprod was saying. Spicy R2-D2. The nice thing, at least, BB-62 was able to strip a ton of parts off the old JFK before it got towed away. Really? Rarest. Nice. Oh, there you go, D-Pig. Wife says the weight was on the back. Yeet! Dude, that's fast, man. That's pretty quick. How did you guys see the back of the damn thing? Unless it was back here somewhere. Oh, yeah, there it is. 34.4. So that's about 15,000 kilos. Guys, give or take, it's somewhere in there. Somewhere between 15 and 16,000 kilos. Needs more lift. Angle of attack is too low. Actually, Wabbit Season, I'm pretty sure that's why they put this thing up here, to spoil the air over the front of this thing so it deflects down and doesn't actually go up in the air. I'm pretty sure that's why that deflector up at the top is there. Because, man, that thing's going fast. Something really cool about carriers, they have rooms dedicated to the presidents they are named after and even have some personal artifacts. That's pretty cool. What did they fill it with? Uranium? It looks like it's cast iron. Sawyer, either that or just solid steel. It's about 2,200 pounds over the F-35C maximum takeoff weight. There you go. On the equipment earlier was a vaporizer. Yeah, there you go. We use those for all of our to clean all of our high pressure N2 working on Navy aircraft. It's derived as an LN2 and device that basically is a reverse radiator and vaporizes to 6,000 psi. Maybe they're cleaning SRB casings in there, dude. Would that be a safe wager? There's a Sea Sparrow right there. And then there should be a Sea Whiz up here. It doesn't look like... Oh, there it is. It's right there. What's your all-time favorite plane from any of the eras of flight? Space Shuttle. Space Shuttle, dude. Flight, not glide. Space Shuttle flies. Hey, it's got to get up there somehow. Pretty much any pressurized gas accumulators, blades, spars. We even use them to air up tires. Cool. That's not flying. It's falling with style. What about when it goes up into space? Is that not flying? I don't know. Let me think. All time of any era? Yeah, Space Pope. I've looked at pictures of it, dude. That's where the JFK was for a long time. Any era. See, like, it's hard. It's tough to say Falcon out of any freaking era, dude, because, like, you know, if I say I like an F4 Phantom over a P-38, right, which are from two different eras, people are going to be like, well, you know, like, can't compare Phantom to a P-38. I don't know. So... Like, I have planes from different eras that I like, but I don't think there's one plane all time. Like, if there is something that flies through the air all time, it would be the Space Shuttle. The Space Shuttle trumps all. That's the coolest thing ever. I mean, I like F4s, dude. I'll accept the shuttle as your all-arounder. Yeah, but I like F4s from the Cold War era. If you compare an F4 to, like, an F-14 or an F-15, the F4 is a piece of junk. OV-10 Bronco. You have exquisite taste, Pythos. Chengdu J20 said no one ever. I was going to question if you were still having a bad day, Pace, after that answer, but, you know, you redeemed yourself with the second part. SR-71, yeah, that's definitely on the list, but I like the A-12s better. They go faster. I like things that go faster. I got some sick air on a skateboard once. It's your favorite aircraft. Nice. Nice. A330, not biased at all. What a piece of junk. F-104, I hate F-104s. I decided. I built one in KSP, and I realized why people don't like that plane. It's really difficult to land. You can't see where you're going when you go to land it. EL. Good choice, Magnus. That's a good plane. Good choice. Goes fast. I like planes that go fast. X1. X1 is cool. DC-3, absolutely. They use F4s as target practice once they were phased out. Yeah, I know. They make them into QF4s, Dan, which is annoying. The A in A10 means attack. It means attack, yes. Which F4? No, not an F4U. F4 Phantom. I love F4 Phantoms. Those are my favorites. World War II era, guys, I like the P-38. P-38's my favorite. Followed closely by the de Havilland Mosquito. I love those planes. Those planes are sick. I love Mosquitoes. Mosquitoes are amazing. Because what's better than one Spitfire engine? Two Spitfire engines. Well, Rolls-Royce Merlins, but yeah. F-111 because I used to watch them take off and land. Nice, nice. If you include things that were planned but never made, would the Venture Star or Super Tomcat be contenders? Things that were never made is the XB-70 is at the top of that list, Aqualux. I mean, never made. Serial production I would count as being made, right? Was the F-14 the first carrier swing wing? Yes, I think so. I don't know what that is, Wabbit season. YF-23? Good call. My dad worked on that plane. Hey, Gamer Ike, what's up, dude? You got to see 2 mosquitoes in Santa Maria last summer. Nice, Dan, that's cool. I still don't get how we built something like the XB-70 back in the 60s. Insane. XB-70 is awesome, dude. What a cool idea. I firmly believe that the XB-70 can go faster than the SR-71. I firmly believe it. I'd like to shake his hand. Macho, my dad worked on the machining the fuel pumps for the YF-23's engines. He wasn't a designer. My dad's a machinist by trade. P-61. Rare, Shogun. That's a rare plane. Can the EEL get some love? Magnus just said it a second ago. EEL is crazy. How much engines do you want? Yes. Yes. Like a spot of engines, mate. Just a spot of engines, please. Yes, perfect. How many engines would you like? Yes, all of them. Yeah, just put all of them on the airplane, please. Thanks. just put more. Just how much power do you want it to make? Yes, precisely. You know. Oh boy. 4 Merlins is truly a spectacle to behold. Yeah, man. Yeah, once again, fellas, I firmly believe the XB-70 could go faster. It could go faster than the SR-71. I'm pretty sure. Don has customers for suborbital missions. Cool, man. Last. Did you see the video of the J-36 landing? Is that a Ferd? Is that a Ferd right there? Birds in my China? China. That's a bird. What kind of bird is that? You guys see the landing gear on that thing? That face when you just ripped off Sukhoi's landing gear and just put it on your next-gen fighter. Bro, it looks like it's got training wheels. You just crudely pasted an SU-30, an SU-27, maybe? If it works, it works. Sure. Anyway. Alright. Alright, both of your brothers are in the Air Force and work on cool planes. My oldest younger brother works on A-10s. My youngest younger brother works on V-22s. Yeah, you've told me this. Bears of Wisdom must be heavy. It's got 3 engines in it, Gaw. I don't want to start anything. I just want to know why there's so much controversy around that Blue Origin launch. Oh, Izzy, you're talking about an S31. I don't know, man. People want to get mad about everything, dude. You want to get mad about everything, dude. These are all paying customers paying for a suborbital flight. And they launched on it, and they came back. Like, Dizzy, I think people are annoyed. I don't know, maybe because they feel like threatened by women or something. I don't know. It was an all-female crew. Like Katy Perry was on board. I mean, whatever. That's cool. Anything that we can do to get more people excited about spaceflight, that's fine. Seeing spaceflight as a worthy endeavor is tied to public perception, so that's a good thing. Like, I think some people get all bent out of shape when they call themselves astronauts and stuff. I don't know, man. I don't really care. I don't really care. Call them whatever you want. Like, I could see both sides of this argument, but honestly, I'm just like, dude, the rocket launched, it came back down, it landed, that's cool. People didn't die, that's even cooler. You know? You call them space tourists, you call them commercial astronauts, space flight participants, call them whatever you want. I don't care. You know? With that being said, I've seen some clips, and they were most likely taken out of context. And they were like, I deserve to be in the same boat as Alan Shepard because I flew the same flight as him. Like, so why shouldn't I be called an astronaut? And I'm like that. Why do people care so much? I just, you know, if they want to be called astronauts, that's all fine and dandy. So call yourself an astronaut, but don't, like, I don't think you need to get pissed off when people say you're not an astronaut. You flew into space. That's something that less than like 2,000 people on this planet have done. You're in an exclusive club out of 8 billion people. Like, why are you letting haters piss you off? The space line is arbitrary anyway. Space line is arbitrary. Space, what does that even mean? All right, fine. You flew higher than 99.9999 of the population on this planet. You've flown higher than all of them. There's literally maybe 1,500 people that have been further into space. Is that, like, I don't know, I mean, does that way make people happy? I don't understand. Because they secretly know they didn't do anything close to what actual astronauts do, and it ruins their shiny new label. Why? Is what you did not exclusive enough? Like, dude, you could be called. Dude, if I did that, I'd be like, all right, I would call myself whatever I want to call myself. I'd be like, yo, I'm a commercial banana knot, whatever. Like, I've done something no one has done. I don't care if it's on a rocket. Like, that was just on automatic guidance. Like, why does that matter? Oh, nice. Like, there you go. Yeah, banana knot. That's me. I've seen people flying pretty high by young times at raves. No, not higher than Neil Armstrong. I don't know, man. You're a banana knot too? Not. Hip Joe, $2 super chat. Absolutely in agreement with you on this. Like, dude, I can understand both sides of the argument. I don't think that, just because you're a passenger on this, you should, I don't think you should compare yourself to Alan Shepard, the guy that strapped himself to a freaking ICBM and launched into space, right? Albeit on a suborbital trajectory. I don't think comparing yourself to him is the thing that you think it is. New Shepard is specially designed to give you a nice, easy ride on the way up. Alan Shepard was quite actually flying on a missile. They took the warhead off, they put the Mercury capsule on, and sent it. He pulled some G-forces on the way up and on the way down. Like, you needed to have some stones to put yourself on top of a redstone missile. Like, I don't think there's a one-to-one comparison there. Like, Alan Shepard pulled like 9 Gs on the way down because he went straight up and straight down. That is a hardcore flight. New Shepard does do something like that, but New Shepard has the BE-3U. Extremely throttleable, Hydrolox engine. It's a very smooth ride. We've seen internal footage of it before. It's a very smooth ride. It's nothing compared to putting yourself on a redstone. That is not even the same thing. Even though the trajectory is kind of similar, Alan Shepard got the snot beaten out of him. If you go read about that Mercury Redstone flight, he got the trash beaten out of him. The guy looked like he'd been in a bar fight. Like, it's like, like, I don't think it's right to compare yourself to that. However, if you want to call yourself an astronaut, you can call yourself an astronaut. I don't really care. Like, you're a commercial astronaut, a commercial participant. If you want, I mean, you're gonna get your wings from the FAA for doing that. So, like, you can call yourself whatever you want, I suppose. I don't really care if these people call themselves astronauts or not. Like, I just don't, like, you can call yourself that. That's fine. I can see that. I would not compare yourself to Alan Shepard. That's not the same. You would be very, very hurt if you compared yourself to Alan Shepard. If you're like, oh, if you flew on the same flight, like, dude, if you put me on Alan Shepard's flight in a Mercury capsule on a Redstone, I would come back and I'd be like, I hate everything right now. Like, that's the difference between, like, astronauts and, like, commercial astronauts, for instance. Like, what Alan Shepard did, what Gus Grissom did, what Scott Carpenter did, and then during the Gemini missions, like Michael Collins, John Young, Jim Lovell, what those guys were doing were ballsy test flights. Like, you could very much die. Like, very much die. Like, death was at your front door, basically. New Shepard, comparatively, don't get me wrong, it's still dangerous. Like, there's always an acceptable amount of risk, right? But the technology has matured a little bit over the last half century for like suborbital flights, let's say. So I don't think it's right necessarily comparing yourself to Alan Shepard, because if you did, you would be in the hospital right now. But also, if you want to call yourself an astronaut, whatever. I don't care. I really don't. It's just one of those things that's just not worth it. It's not worth it to make a big deal out of.
Like, it's a useless semantic fight. Every time I've seen this come up, dudes, it's just, they're an astronaut. No, they're not. They're an astronaut. No, they're not. They're an astronaut. No, they're... It's not productive. It's a waste of time. That's like, is a hot dog a sandwich? It's a waste of time. Don't start. From what I'm gathering, people are saying it's not women empowerment because it came across as women can go to space too. Rather than an ISS mission, women can train just as hard to capable. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know, dude. I don't care. People went up into space. That's cool. The rocket came down and landed. That's cool. They came back and they didn't die. I think that's cool. I think it's wrong for them to compare themselves to the early astronaut pioneers. But if you want to call yourself an astronaut, I mean, the technical definition of an astronaut is flying above 100 kilometers. So I guess that counts. Like, it's not the hill to die on, dudes. You know what I mean? Didn't Jim Lovell travel the furthest away from Earth? No. John Young, Gene Cernan, and who was on Apollo 10 with him? I can't believe I forgot this. This is pathetic. Tom Stafford. Those are the people that have been the furthest and the fastest. Those are the fastest 3 human beings around. No one's gone faster than John Young, Gene Cernan, and Tom Stafford. 25,000 miles an hour. It's the fastest any human's ever been. There was that clip that apparently the door was opened inside and they freaked out and had them close it so Jeff could open it with a wrench from the outside. I've seen it, Airbanas. Yeah. He said higher, not faster. Okay, I'll explain this in better terms here. The further you are away from Earth, the faster you're going to fall. Does that make sense? Apollo 10 went the fastest because it's gone the furthest away. It was the highest one out of everything comparatively to the surface. They are mutually exclusive with spaceflight. Well, no, they aren't mutually exclusive. You know what I'm trying to say. Hey, Anti-Senpai, what's going on? Anyway, what's going on, S? How you doing? I asked before, but I think you missed it or you didn't want to answer. So if it's the latter, no worries. If SpaceX has patented their work, why are other space organizations, especially NASA, not copying them and saving a fortune on R&D? I don't think SpaceX is patenting their work, dude. Life's good. Did you work on the car? I worked on the car a little bit before stream today, Hentai-senpai. I got the fuel tank hooked up, and the fuel tank works. I can get it to pull fuel from its own tank instead of a gas tank that I have sitting on the hood, right? Good news is that, the fuel system's all working, so I got the lines all blown out, and I primed the system and got the engine up to temperature. The bad news is I'm pretty sure we have a blown head gasket. The 318 has a blown head gasket. We got to fix it. I want to fix it. Yeah, so we'll prove it on one stream, and then on another stream we'll fix it. Yeah, but even Elon has said people could be copying him right now. Yeah, you don't patent ITAR stuff because then people can see ITAR stuff. You know what I'm saying? I think they were trying to do some sort of rehearsed cinematic exit of their capsule and somebody jumped the gun. I don't really like that, guys. I've often said this about spaceflight. Spaceflight doesn't need any extra hype. It's just cool as it is. You don't need to try and be like, hey, look at how cool this is by having the owner of Blue Origin open the capsule up. Like, you don't need to do stuff like that. You really don't. We've seen many casts over the years where they try to hype stuff up. They try to make it cooler than it is. Road to space, I'm looking at you. It's not needed. You don't need to do that. You don't need to drum up all this crazy sentiment. Like, that whole thing just gives me freaking Lumen vibes. You know, like, I don't like it. You don't need to do that kind of stuff. If you know, you know. It's just some straight Lumen going on there. That's just weird. It's just abnormal. It doesn't seem right. It was like during the New Glenn cast when they tried to make it look like I'm down here with the crowd, right? And they were blatantly telling the crowd, okay, make noise now to make it seem like it's cooler than it is. It was really obvious and really weird. The bumps will be fisted. Like, what are you people talking about? Kira himself opened the capsule hatch. Yeah, please clap. Dude, I don't know, dude. Like, it's just weird. What? You don't need to do that. Like, you don't need to do that. Like, that's the best I can come up with. You don't need to do weird stuff like that. Like, that stream made you second guess about applying to blue. It was weird, dude. Like, you know, I like blue. I think the technology is awesome, dude. Like, but, dude, they somehow do casts about, they do launch casts about the rocket and then manage to talk about everything but the actual launch. Like, they're talking about Club for the Future, which is great. That's super cool. You know, they're talking about Club for the Future. They talk about other things. They talk about everything but the actual thing that they're like launching, which is, yeah, I really wish they would stop doing that. Yeah, talk about Project Kuiper, but they're not going to, Coltech. They're just going to show that B-roll footage of them saying they were the first to make an antenna that operates in the KU band. Like, I just, like, don't gaslight me into freaking liking your stuff. You don't need to do that. You're not the first one to do it. Starlink did it first. That's fine. That's okay. We get it. Like, you don't need to be like, well, we're the first ones that know. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not. Stop saying that. Stop gaslighting me into thinking you're, like, you're the first one to do it. You're not the first one to do it. Shut up. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm being too mean. I don't know. Investors, possibly you. I just don't get it. They somehow take something like rockets and just make it seem like you're watching reality TV. It's weird, dude. How do you do it? Like, how can you? And maybe I shouldn't say anything. I don't know. Who knows? It's just strange. It's just strange. Like, why? Why? You don't need to do that, dude. Just talk about the rocket. Just talk about the rocket. People are there for the rocket. Just talk about the rocket. NBC is going to cover it anyway. Don't worry about it. You know, like. Yeah, Joe, I know what you mean. Were you working on the Coronet yesterday? I was. Yeah. And, like, once again, this isn't a knock towards blue. Like, it's just, dude, it doesn't need to be. I'm like, I want to give, like, constructive criticism. You don't need to do this way. You just sit there and get one of your engineers on there that's hyped about the thing that they engineered. Like the time they had Gary Lai on there. Gary Lai is the chief engineer for New Shepard. They had him on there, and he was talking about the rocket. He was talking about New Shepard. He's talking about all the stuff. We learned a ton about New Shepard. It was awesome. That was an awesome cast. Just do that more. Just get somebody from your engineering team that's psyched about what they do, and the hype will come. Like, you don't need to be like, you know, you don't need to be like, oh, well, here he comes with the special tool to open up the hatch. Like, you don't need to do that. You're making it way too complicated. feels like they're trying to appeal to a wider audience instead of introducing them to and getting them interested in spaceflight. They're instead making it shallower. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I don't know. Talk about the B3U, please. I love that engine. There's a disconnect from what we see to and what they think we want to see. Yeah, Matthias, for sure. Like, and once again, I'm not saying this because I hate their rockets or I hate Blue Origin or anything. I love SpaceX. I love Blue. I want them to succeed. I want you to do good. Like, these casts aren't helping you. They're not. They're not. They are doing the opposite of that. But then again, Matthias, it might not be for us, dude. Maybe they want to appeal to a bigger audience, so they need to lowest common denominator it and water it down. Maybe that's what they want to do. If that's what they want to do, I suppose that's all right. It's Jeff's company, dude. Does what he wants. It did go viral. There you go. That's right. A lot of people know about NS31, for better or for worse. So, you know, they're doing it for a reason, and that reason, I mean, there you go. Like, space influence, yeah. Does EJ have enough stuff in his garage to make a propane propellant rocket? Yeah, maybe. I hope this form of reporting in media regarding spaceflight doesn't become more common. It's just straying from reporting about scientific advancements and leaning towards, oh my gosh, Katy Perry. Yeah, I don't know. Hey, Anna's didn't scrub for once. Dude, they could have talked about that, Mutter. Like, this, you know, like... Kind of like that SpaceX guy. John Insprucker is his name. SpaceX has all engineers on their cast. Nobody there is a trained media personality. Jesse, Kate, John, they're all engineers, dude. They all work on Falcon 9. Like, now, Ronnie she works in sales, so she's not necessarily an engineer, but, and then Dan Hewitt was a NASA PAO. I think he might be a communications guy, but Dan's awesome, so. And Chris G is not an engineer either. That's right. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, RJ, like, I don't know, man. Yeah, it just doesn't seem to have much substance. I really wish they would talk more about the science. But anyway, like, if that's the way they want to do it, that's the way they want to do it. I'm going to keep watching them. Like... Screw me, right? Like, Dan knows what he's talking about, Daytal. There's some people that aren't engineers that know what they're talking about that can provide pretty damn good commentary, you know? Like, I don't know, Trey, maybe. Well, it is your job to watch them, yeah. Anyway, let's get through the rest of the space news and then we'll go. But anyway, yeah, NS31 was a cool mission. I don't know, man. I just don't even want to get in on that. Like, are they astronauts? Are they not? I don't care. I really don't. Talk to me about rockets, please. You know, like, with that being said, I'm going to heed my own advice and go. So, Arianespace, this is an update from them. The VV-26 launch campaign is in full swing in Kourou. Satellite encapsulation has taken place. The half shells of the launchers fairing were gently closed around the ESA biomass satellite. Liftoff on April 29th at 6:15 a.m. local, 9:15 a.m. UTC. Stay tuned. This is a Vega payload here. Cool. Why are you like this, Windows?
Is that a kick stage on the bottom? That would be the Avum upper stage, but I don't... No, it's just a payload attachment fitting. I don't know much about that biomass satellite. It's probably an Earth observation satellite, knowing the ESA. But yeah, this is a payload encapsulation facility right here, down in Kourou. It's Windows from Microsoft. So April 29th, huh? 6:15 in the morning. Anyway, okay, so we got an update here from PLD. PLD is a Spanish launch provider here. Let's see what they're up to. This is how we build Europe's most reliable rocket, Mura 5. At our state-of-the-art facility, in bold, we manufacture all metallic structures of our launch vehicle and its Temporal C family engines, including combustion chambers and turbopumps. Now, Mura 5. That's right. I don't know, Maddie. Yeah. Weird. Where we combine proven industry technologies with years of heritage and cutting-edge processes like metal additive manufacturing and laser welding. Robust end-to-end process management with quality control integrated into each step ensures that all engineering models reach our test benches in Turel exactly as designed. There, we test and use the results to rapidly iterate and improve manufacturing until every subsystem is qualified. This approach gives us the agility and flexibility to move confidently toward the first Mira 5 launch at Kourou Space Center. Yeah, so French Guiana right there. Delivering on a promise of reliability and performance. Okay, we got some promo vid. Let's see what we got here. Probably can't play that music. The 3D printing prototypes. That's PCB printing. Oh, hello, baby. Yep, spinning the motor. Sintering. That's laser sintering. Oh, that's cool, man. Casting. Wow. Anodizing. I wonder why they're tooling... Why they're doing tooling on the motor after it's been anodized and stuff. Why is it blurred? Because it's proprietary tech. There's their tank wall. They're using an ISO grid. Whoa. That's a feeler gauge. Testing tolerances right there. So it pushes and it's... They're measuring the parts to make sure they're right. Huh. Yep. Poking machine. No, that wasn't casting. That was them putting the laser sintered part out of the powder bed. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. You're right. You're right. You're right. Neat.
Listen, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Don't copy that floppy. Hey, what's the name of that 80s shuttle video that has that great synth song? I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain? Coming down, sunny day, yeah.
This song? Can't listen to it. YouTube and Twitch will mute. Your chat is weird. Tell me something I don't know. Such a good song, man. Ding! Freaking bell. They're testing the chopsticks right now and they wobble so much. Yeah? Did you shake hands with danger? No. Speaking of cool, subtle things, that time Robin Williams made a wake-up call to one of the SDS crews. That was cool. I'll link it up. Shuttle video person. I'll link it up in both chats. It's an awesome song. We can't play too much of it though, because it probably already muted the VOD at this point, so somebody just got my money. Which is great. That's just, that's not anxiety inducing at all. A little late since I got caught up at rocket trains.
Listen, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
What do you call a factory that makes okay products? A satisfactory.
And Phil, they really could have used this 4-bay VAB at this point, huh? It would have been really useful. Yep, there's the ML consist right there. I love trains. Trains are awesome. Yeah, cheeseburger, I've seen it. Oh, man. You see the new plane game Avi assembly. I've seen it. Yeah, people have told me about it. I like trains. Yes, spoiled. That's what I'm talking about. Read yesterday that someone is going to build a bullet train between Dallas and Houston. Yeah, Brightline. Yeah, maybe. Sick, dude. Can we, like, do this more or something? That thing is fully fueled, I'm pretty sure, guys. Pretty sure they fully fueled the Titans. If I'm remembering right. Could be wrong. Is that a Titan 2? I think that's a Titan 3. I'm pretty sure that's Titan 3. It looks weird because it doesn't have its SRBs attached. That's where they're taking it in this. They have to tow it down the ITL causeway to the solid rocket motor assembly integration facility. Payloads were vertically integrated on Titan rockets, Sea Kraken, so they would have they have a mobile service structure at the pads to put the payloads on, like Delta 4, similar to Delta 4. That's the Titan 4 for the Cassini mission. Yep, there's the solid rocket motor integration facility. They'll tow it right through that. That's the 4-bay VAB that I was talking about. Phil, this footage is fantastic, dude. I've never seen it before. Nice dodge over there. It's because trains are awesome, Sig. Cassini launched on your birthday. All right. So Cassini, this would have been 97 then? Cassini-Huygens? Oh, nope. They went around it. Why did they go around it? Oh yeah, there's a bypass track. I don't know why they went around it though. SpaceX uses that facility right there, that building that says USAF on it. SpaceX uses that to integrate Starlinks and payloads right now. They painted it so it looks like a SpaceX facility. They painted it white. Pretty much, Sig. So if they towed it around the solid rocket motor integration facility, they're going to tow it to this solid rocket motor assembly facility. So it's a building that's down here. Oh, nice, Blue Bench. You saw the Delta 3 upper stage at the California Science Center. Cool. How do you turn a pad on multiple tracks? Anything special or bogey's good enough? What do you mean, turn a pad on multiple tracks? This was 97, Sig. 1997. Oh, nice Ferd Explorer. There it goes. So ULA is using this building to integrate rockets. They're building Vulcan. They're going to stack Vulcans in there. Yeah, and the right of way for the ITL has been restored to this point where that Ford is, the Aerostar right here. They actually raised the roof of this building because Vulcan is a little bit taller than Titan. The reason why it's taller than Titan is because Titan didn't get its payload until it got to the pad. So they were moving rockets with no payload fairing in here, which is why Vulcan, which has its payload fairing stacked when it's being assembled, right? Which is why they needed a taller roof for this building. That building is still in use. ULA is using this right now. They're actually using it as their Vulcan Project Kuiper integration facility. They're using it to just build Vulcans for Amazon's satellite constellation. Integrate Vulcans, I should say. I think they're asking about navigating a curve. Sea Kraken, the train... Yeah, the train bearings, or the train wheels will solve that problem for you. There's no need for a diff with a train. You don't need a differential. The way that the train wheels are made and the geometry of the rail and the wheel makes it so you don't need, it's a passive system. Trains inherently lean into corners a little bit on purpose because the train wheels are actually tapered. And if it's tapered and the track goes to, well, you guys is right, my left. If it's tapered and it goes to the right, train's actually going to lead a little bit. And because the wheels are tapered out, right, this wheel naturally goes to a smaller diameter and this one goes to a larger diameter. And that actually is what compensates for, you know, if you have two rails going around a corner, right, or two tracks going around a corner that are carrying 1 ml, right, that'll compensate for it. because your outer wheels just inherently, it leans a little bit and your outer wheels use a bigger diameter. Train wheels are ridiculous. It's such a smart solution. Like, that is so ingenious. Yeah, every train uses that nowadays, except for like a maglev maybe. The train has sort of a lower tapered fade. I just find that hard to see from my head with the two bogies side by side. So when the train car is going around a corner, the cars are going to do this. They're going to do that. Just a little bit though. So let's go look at the consists. Maybe we could figure it out. I'm pretty sure I know what they're doing to compensate for it. I saw it. I saw it on the consist that they use there. Here, I'll show you. In fact, the diff would screw up the self-centering action. That's right. Yeah. Well, trains are that's so smart. It's such a good idea, dude. All right. There they are stacking. All right. Let's take a look at the consists, Sea Kraken. We'll see. So there they are. It's not really a good shot, but... there's some kind of screw jack on this thing. I don't know what that is. Could be a leveler. Could be some kind of leveling device. I think the trains have pneumatics as well. That, on the other hand, it could just be the brakes. It's the perfect design. Yes, Sig, I love trains. You get no argument from me. Freaking love trains. Why not use electric locomotives? It's 1997. Alright, there's the shot of the consist. So let's take a look. I'm not sure what that is. But I guarantee you that that is well, I don't know. Maybe it's a leveling device. I'm pretty sure that's the mechanical brakes. Sea Kraken, I'm pretty sure this... I don't know. It could be the brakes. It might not be. That could be the leveling device right there. It could level. Either that or this could be on some kind of gimbal right here, and that would do it. So basically some way for your bogies to independently articulate relative to this big piece right here. This footage is so cool, though. So, in the next shot, this thing should come out of here with 2 SRBs on the sides. K33, Titan Cassini Vehicle Flow, tape number 2. See? Hey, nice van. Yeah, I was looking for the pneumatic tanks on those things, Jojo, but yeah. Aren't they diesel electrics? Yeah. I think Sig meant, like, why no overhead catenaries. I don't think I need to explain why you wouldn't want that with this design, but... there's a rocket in the way. Does it launch from the train platform? No. The train pulls the mobile launcher to the pad, and I'm pretty sure the leveling system that we were talking about sets the thing down. I could operate one of those. Do the Titan SRBs have gimbal? I don't think so. The LR87 is enough thrust vector control. Oh yeah, Dragon? Titan rockets are awesome. Yeah, Titan rockets are great for their time, dude. Really good. LR87 is an amazing design. I think Titans are really underrated. I'm really happy my dog is named Titan. I like Titan rockets. They're good rockets. The Hypergall really kills you, though. Does this make the train the first stage? No! Train is stage 0, bro. Mechazilla? No. Trainazilla. How big is this compared to Starship? Super Heavy's 2 times as tall as that mobile launcher, maybe. Oh, that's so cool, dude. Hey, Sid, what's going on? I like the Titan doggos, yep. Can we bring back moving rockets to the pad with a train, please? Yeah, that thing is booking, dude. She's moving pretty quick. That platform belongs in a museum. They scrapped all of them. And they scrapped the building they were inside. This is an HVAC and power car. This is a golf cart. I mean, the crazy part about that, guys, is that rocket's fully fueled. The SRBs are obviously fully fueled, and the Titan rocket's fully fueled because it's Hypergalls. Sounds like they're getting a little bit of wheel slip, but there you go. See, Kraken, there it is. See how the whole thing's kind of tilting? It's tilting that way. Yeah, it looks like they just there's some kind of system that has the mount to the ML moving independently of the bogies. Which, look, the whole thing is leaning that way a little bit. There's your answer. There is, I would say that there's probably some kind of leveling system, but not a lot. Nice truck. Oh. And that's pad 40. Right here is where SpaceX's HIF is. It's actually right where that van is. And all these structures are long gone. The only thing that's still there is the lightning arrestor. Yep, that's pad 40. That flame diverter's still there. SpaceX still uses that. No way they would let that many people close to a fully fueled rocket nowadays. 1990s US was built different, man. What do you call the thing that stops lightning? It's a lightning arrestor system, Sid. Why'd they choose to use a crawler for Saturn V if you could have done it with a train? The N1 did it with trains. Talk yourself through it. Why couldn't they have done it with trains? Well, it's clear that they didn't, right? They used the crawler transporters. Why would you need to use the crawler transporter? Think about this. So, Sea Kraken, think about contact patch and weight of your design. Super Allah, thank you for the raid. The roll comes from the asymmetric spring compression. Yeah, that's a good call. Nice.
And the slope.
Yep.
So how many train lines would you need next to each other to move an ML with trains? Like the launch umbilical tower from Saturn. And one was brought in horizontally. The Soviets could get away with it, Sea Kraken. Hey, Super Raiders, how are you? Thank you for popping in. The Soviet Union could get away with it because Baikonur is built on terra firma. Florida is not. Kazakh steppe is actually pretty solid. It's pretty solid terrain. You don't have that luxury in Florida, do you? So they had to come up with a solution to be able to distribute the load wide enough. Because remember, you're moving 15 million pounds. 7 million kilograms. That's a lot. That's a lot. I don't think a train would work. Trains would sink. The train tracks would sink. You can get away with it with 2 rail lines on a medium-sized mobile launcher, but the amount of railroad infrastructure that you'd need to move something like that would be crazy. F-250 could haul it, yeah. Actually, 1 rail line per parallel track on the crawler. So you would need 4 rail lines wide. And you'd probably crush the ballast aqueducts underneath the railroad bed anyway, anytime you move the rocket out. The crawler transporter was seen as a much better solution because with the crawler transporter, you replace the ballast. You have to replace the ballast on the crawlerway every time. It's a lot easier to do that than trying to fix railroad tracks. See, Kraken, long story short, the weight. The weight is the problem. Even the crawler transporter. If the CT was not on that river rock, the Tennessee River rock that the crawlerway is made up out of, if it wasn't on the river rock, it would it would sink into the ground. If they paved it and made it concrete, it would just crack the concrete and sink right into the ground. The mobile launchers are practically 4 enormous rail engines. It's got two locomotive engines in it, spoiled, but yeah, they're in a custom chassis. Thinking about the consist thing we were talking about, you want to keep it firm because you're going around a corner. You always want to be vertical to the net acceleration, centripetal and ground. Yeah, the CTs can do this, they can do that, they can articulate in any direction. How often do they need to replace the ballast under the crawler? Every 3 or 4 times, Stig. Yeah. The ML platforms are practically 4. Yeah, sure. Spoiled. Sorry. Yep, that's pad 40. Pretty cool. And then the mobile service tower would integrate it. There's your upper stage. Bro, look at that truck, that Ford C-Series. Oh, that's mint. Dude, yeah, Phil, that mobile service tower is crusty. Like beef, or not crusty, it's beefy, dude. Look at the size of that thing. Compensating much? When did they start adding shrouds to the LR-87s? I believe that was a Titan IV thing, but I don't remember off the top of my head. It's a Centaur? Yeah, Titan IV. Yeah, Titan IV had a Centaur upper stage. Yep.
Can you believe that? You had a hypergolic first stage, or a hypergolic core stage, 2 SRBs on the side. Oh, that's right. See, Kraken, the SRBs on Titan 4 are gimbaled because the LR87 is air started. I think that was Titan 4, guys. That was Titan 4, right? Yeah. They sent it on SRBs and then they would air start the core stage. Titan 4, yeah, to get more performance out of it. Yeah. So you got a hypergolic second stage technically, SRB first stage, and a Hydrolox third stage. Just there's a reason why they stopped using Titan, because it was too expensive. Yep. This would be a 3-meter core? I have to Google it, dude. Hold on. Yeah, 3 meter. It's 10 feet. 3.05 meter. Yeah, this was engineered in standard, so it's a 10-foot core. For contrast, Saturn V is 33 feet.
That panel... Oh. Sorry, I was trying to pause it. That panel in the trailer looks like the one that's in the astronaut get dressed room. Can't remember. That is positive pressure for the Centaur. Centaur can't stand up unless it's pressurized, Bob. Hypergolics are pricey. Yep. Yep. Did not have asparagus staging though. I remember that nonsense. You remember that, All Systems? Everyone's like, that's the future. Falcon Heavy will use it. That's the future. It's like, shut up. Can you imagine Atlas V and Delta IV are the rockets that replace these? Can you imagine, like, dude, Delta IV and Atlas V must have been like the Millennium Falcon compared to this damn thing. Titan just... The ITL Causeway was designed to launch every single version of Titans. You could launch Titan 2s from the ITL, you could launch Titan 3s, you could launch Titan 3 Transstage, you could launch Titan 2 Transstage, you could launch Titan 3 Centaur, you could launch Titan 2 AS, you could launch Titan Gemini MOL if you really wanted to. That's why there's all this beefy equipment, all these different integration facilities. All these facilities are there to build all different versions of the Titan rocket depending on where you needed to go. It was a similar idea of what like Atlas V does. You know, you want to go further, add more SRBs. You want to go further, have 2 engines on your upper stage. You want a higher energy upper stage. Different sizes of fairings, etc., etc. That was their idea to do this in the 60s. That's why all these facilities are just so overbuilt. Vulcan is the future. Vulcan, guys, I firmly believe that Vulcan is the culmination of all of this. I think ULA is carrying the, it's a direct lineage from the earliest parts of the space program, which is actually super cool. I think that's really neat. I think Vulcan is a good rocket. I really do. It's a nice piece of equipment. No observations this time, though, okay? Bruh. Yeah, I hope Prima doesn't have him on the TV, or else he's going to get very confused. James Webb Space Telescope has detected potential biosignatures in the atmosphere of an exoplanet. Yeah, I heard about that, Limprod. Cool. Last, sorry, forgot to ping again. Are balloon tanks used on anything other than Centaur? They were used on Atlas core stages back in the day, but no, not right now. Is workers for after hours? Summer car is for after hours. Did Titan bring up any ISS sections? No. What about Ares 1? I don't know. What about it? Oh, dude, hold on one second. Periscope just put out a really awesome video
You guys might appreciate it. You guys might not. They posted it a couple of days ago. This one. A car is born. Look at this. This is some B-roll footage from Ford from the River Rouge in the late 60s, which is so cool. Like, I don't know, it's not necessarily space news, but they show the steel mill, they show the casting. It's so damn cool. They show the steel ingot extrusion, or the ingot extrusion. See, look at that, there's your extruder to make rolls of steel. Oh, there it is, baby. Look at that steel. Hell yeah.
Amorphous beginnings for another basic material.
Here, I'll link it up so you guys can see it.
Kneaded like dough in huge mills. Vinyl is used for 721 different automotive parts.
Look at these dudes on the line. There's dudes on the line just letting the hamburger meat all hanging out. There's dudes smoking ciggies. Oh, it's so cool, man. This is so badass.
In more than 100 different textures, including knitted vinyl, a Ford innovation. The textures, in turn, can take any of hundreds of colors, making possible thousands of fabric designs to form glass.
This is a glass plant.
In the completely enclosed float glass process, the operation is watched by closed-circuit television monitors and operated from the central control room.
Guys, if I ever get rich, right, like super rich, or just decide to do this as a project, I want to take my entire streaming setup and put it in a console that looks like that, complete with spinning tapes. I don't care if the spinning tapes don't do anything. I just want a console. That would be so freaking cool. Look at this place. Look at this place. What is this?
Which imparts its own
what year is it?
To the glass and eliminates the need for polishing.
Bro, this must have been cutting edge for freaking 1968. This must have been like 2001: A Space Odyssey up in here. Look at this place.
All under the watchful electronic eye of the computer.
Why are films like this made and why are they not done now? Don't know.
The molten glass emerges as a continuous strip 100 inches wide.
I guess Aqualux, maybe.
5,000 miles of it a year.
I mean, they clearly disagreed with you, so...
The glass is then cut in a variety of shapes for...
Yeah, it was made by Ford. Yep.
Laid on an air table with moving guides, windows ride along, supported on a cushion of air from beneath.
Air hockey table. That's how they move glass
a hot,
around.
Curved surface, they soften to take its form.
It's pretty smart. What car are these windows for? Mustang, dude. Mustang. So the River Rouge in '68 was making Mustangs, pickup trucks, Mercury Cougars. So they were making F-100s, they were making Mustangs, they were making pickup trucks, or which is the F-100. They were making Mercury Cougars. I forget what else. Ford was much more vertically integrated than I thought. Ford invented vertical integration, dude. The vertically integrated company is called, it's a subset of Fordism. That is, Henry Ford invented it. He invented the Gigafactory, dude. That's why I like Ford so much. So much modern manufacturing can be attributed by the need of that man to want to build more automobiles than anybody else. This is the River Rouge plant. It's still running. The River Rouge still makes F-150s to this day. The furnaces in the River Rouge that make steel have been on for 100 years straight. 24/7, 365. The steel mill has been on for 100 years straight. Think about that for a second. That's crazy.
Windshields take on their own complex form.
Nice,
when the
David.
glass
There you go.
templates are laid on a fixture and heated, and respond.
Is it at least electrified now? Yeah, of course they've upgraded it, dude. It's not the same plant. Henry Ford built it in... They started construction on it in 1917. It was built in 1925. Like, it started making cars in 1925. Yeah, they've upgraded it a little bit over time.
Under the force of gravity. They simply sag into place. Then comes the windshield safety glass sandwich.
You were saying, Sig?
These windshields are tougher than ever before. They'll give, but if broken, there's less danger of sharp edges.
Yeah, you guys got to peep some of these dudes on the line. As the kids would say, they got some pretty hard aura going on. It's pretty badass, man.
Final inspection for any optical imperfections.
Stamping. No one says that. Stop
Amid
lying.
flashes from welding equipment, steel joins steel, and basic forms begin to emerge.
Oh, this is so
This is
damn
the frame
cool.
plant, where the structural underpinning of an automobile is assembled. Moving down the line of welders,
Look at the stick welder.
frames gradually take shape.
Hell yeah.
At every stage along the way,
See, the interesting thing is that this says River Rouge. Guys, in 1968, they weren't making a frame-on-chassis car at River Rouge, so this has got to be from Wayne Assembly, or could be Flat Rock. It could be Highland Park. That's not River Rouge. They didn't. Those aren't pickup truck frames. Those are frames for a car. Pickup truck frames don't bow out like this. Pickup truck frames are just two rails front to back for structure, because the pickup truck ideally needs to use something strong. That's a car frame. That's a LTD chassis. So you'd have to look up where Ford LTDs were made in the late 60s. You can figure out what plant this is.
the product comes under the careful scrutiny of an exacting
That's awesome,
individual
Bob.
from quality control, whose abiding aim in life seems to be to shut the
That's
Ford
cool,
Motor Company
David.
down. And that's the way we want it. And our fault finders can reject anything from a finished frame to a finished automobile, or hundreds of them for that matter.
I'm sorry, I know this isn't too much space stuff, guys, but there's not a lot of news today. I just thought this was super cool. It's just manufacturing pornography, which is, I'm sure you guys
Those
dig
that
it.
meet approval
Or don't.
are
Look at all the
shipped to Ford's
frames.
assembly
Oh
line.
my goodness. Damn, that's cool.
At the same time, other forms are taking shape under the powerful drive of 3-story high trusses, anchored on bedrock and capable of pressures up to 2,000 tons.
Stamping, baby.
There are 7 Ford stamping plants.
Could be
which
Aurora.
consume 12 to 13,000 tons of sheet steel a day.
Oh,
Taking
look
out
at those
doors,
stamps.
hoods,
That's badass,
fenders,
man.
wheels, bumpers, and
Oh,
other
that's
items
so cool.
as though they were bottle caps. Simple
That thing
forms,
just, boom, hammers that sucker into place. My boy's got a ciggy right there. You see that? On the line. That's badass, man.
9 or 10 presses.
Just,
The
boom!
last line of design
Oh,
is
that's
expressed
cool.
in metal. Whatever the form, production is timed.
Bro, look at
to
the robotic
precise
arm
needs of
from
Ford's
1968.
21 assembly plants. Here, stampings are assembled and body buildup.
Thunderbird. That's a T-Bird. That's a 68 T-Bird. Oh yeah, Nix. Dude, there's a reason why I like Ford, man. Ford's
They do cool stuff like this all the time. They still do cool stuff like this.
Begins.
Watch, now these dudes are gonna sit in there, they're gonna weld it all together, they're gonna
Automatic
spot weld
welding
the bottom.
machines
Dude,
come
look
into
at that thing!
There are more
What
than
the frick?
3,500 spot welds in a car. And some of these
Watch.
machines do as many as 100.
Watch, it'll just start, once they start going.
Just as important is the individual welder.
Look at the spot welder. So they hang the spot welders from the ceiling, so you can move it around easier. So you can work on the line quicker. Like, ergonomics of the assembly line, dudes, is such a big deal. Even today, like, if you don't, like, if the guy has to, like, bend down and grab the spot welder and pick it up and zap it into place, dude, that wastes time and also kills the dude's back, right? That's kind of important. You don't want to do that, right? So they hang the spot welders. Like, they still do stuff like this. Dude, even Elon himself with Tesla ran into a problem like this. They tried to automate too much and they ended up working on ergonomics and stuff for the factory to build stuff quicker. Because think about it, dude. If the guy has to, like, turn around and grab a wrench and do this, you know, tighten up a bolt, put the wrench back, that's a waste of 15 seconds. And every second counts when you're vertically integrated. That's so cool, dude. Oh, dude. Look at that. That's impressive, dude. I mean, don't get me wrong, they still make cars like this nowadays. It's just damn impressive. Like, raw materials goes in one side of the River Rouge and freaking trucks come out the other side. That's mind-boggling to me. We know good and well from workers how hard that actually is. Like, actually, we don't. We got a taste of how hard it could be, right? Guys putting the roof on, and then they'll zap it together. That's a Thunderbird sedan. See the post? You see that big flap on the left side of the screen? That's the post. This is a post car, just like the Coronet. See all that? That structure right there? That post is what's holding my Coronet together. They still do that. There's guys with flux welders on the line that just, you know, tidy up any welds that the machines don't get right. They still do that. That's Bill, by the way.
Skillful touches all along the way assure a smooth result.
Guy with the flap
The
disc.
body takes form. And here's that quality control man again, feeling the metal with a special mitt that helps find any surface defects. Checking door alignments, too.
Oh, it's a Lincoln, dude. No, that is not a T-Bird sedan. I was wrong. It's a Continental. Look at the suicide door. That's badass, man.
For little imperfections, a trained eye can
It's close, Lycan. Yep. Yeah, Pat, it's just weird, isn't it? Look at that machine. What is that?
Now into
It's
a
so
50,000 gallon red bath, a Ford first, or rust
Bill or
proofing.
Bob?
Particles of primer paint in the solution are electrically charged.
Yep.
The metal of the
They
body
still do
bears
that.
the opposite charge, and even the tiniest spot draws the protective coating to it, like a magnet, literally plating the body with primer.
Yep. They still do that. Yeah, it's called an E-coat. Yep, that they still do that. They dunk the entire chassis into electrified primer, and it magnetizes to
and
the
examined again for
the
rust
car.
spots. Then on to the final color paint booth.
It does, Tron, doesn't it? The paint booth is automated, and if you ever paint a car with HVLP spray guns, please use masks.
No, you know what? Screw that. Don't use masks. Use a respirator. That will kill you. Like, this isn't some safety police OSHA stuff. That's da-da-ding-a-ding-a-ding. Shake hands with danger. You should not.
Each painter has hundreds of gallons of different passenger car colors on tap.
Jesus, that's so bad for you.
As bodies take shape, so do engines.
You don't want to inhale
Beginning
that.
with the patterns to form castings.
Right, David, for sure. Hey, look, a feeler gauge. So that's a feeler gauge. Actually, it's a dial indicator gauge. We were looking at that PLD aerospace thing, and they had one of those things on a robotic arm that was checking tolerances on parts. That's how they used to do it back in the day. There's a little gauge right here that tells you your movement in thousandths of an inch, and they're testing the tolerance on the casting. Oh, that's so cool, dude. This is badass. I love this stuff, man.
Pattern making is a highly skilled craft, and the patterns must be accurate to 1,000th of an inch. Molds will be formed from patterns for casting engine components.
That's right, Trenton, right? Dude, guy's carving out that casting by hand. That's so
The
cool.
molds themselves are formed of sand mixed
Watch
with
this.
binding agents to produce a hard, heat-resistant shell. Precision equipment
That's cool,
aligns
Bob.
two half shells to form completed molds.
Bro, I
for
love
engine
this stuff
blocks.
so much, dude. This makes me so goddamn happy. I hope when I'm retired someday, we get to see a promo vid like this from SpaceX, like how they made the early starships or something. That would be so damn cool. So this is casting, guys. They're making casts for the engines. You know, American V8s had this crazy reputation of being super reliable. The reason why it's super reliable is because when you make the engine, when you make the block out of cast iron, there's really not a lot you can do to it, to actually break that freaking casting, unless you throw a rod out the side, in which case you got a big problem. Cast iron is insane. That's really strong stuff. It's thick, Sig. The engines were heavy as hell, dude. You'll see when we pull the Coronet's engine. You'll just see.
In the
They're
foundries
heavy.
supplying Ford engine plants, molten iron
Guitars?
is
No,
brought
you're
to the
here.
casting floor in 2-ton ladles.
Dude,
From these ladles, smaller ladles are filled.
that'd be so cool, Bob. Seeing rockets roll off the assembly line like this.
Traveling along a monorail, the ladles are brought alongside a slowly moving procession of engine blocks.
Yes, that man is wearing sunglasses. The reason why he's wearing sunglasses is because the crucibles that have molten iron in them, yeah, it's really bright. You don't want to stare at that. It looks like Mustafar. It does look like that, doesn't it? Or is it Geonosis?
Using an optical pyrometer, a foreman on the floor can quickly tell if proper casting temperatures are being maintained.
Definitely Mustafar. Isn't that cool? Iron,
Off the
baby.
blocks move from the casting floor. Slowly
It is automated, Sig, but like, hey Jensen, what's going on, man? 93-month resub. It is a lot of it is automated, but like I said, even Elon ran into this problem. There's only so much you can automate on an assembly line. At some point, at a certain point, it does not make any sense to engineer a system to do what a person can just do. Like, you'd be surprised how difficult it is to, like, take part A and move it to location A. Like, if you have a line here and a line here, a robot to pick it up and put it over there, that's actually a really, really hard engineering problem to solve. And once again, before people say, like, oh, come on, you could do it. Well, yeah, Tesla ran into this problem. Elon ran into this problem with scaling up Model 3 production. They tried to automate the entire project, and it didn't work. Tesla actually backpedaled and brought more people in on the line instead. They actually strayed away from automation. Not a lot of people know that. Not much, man. Just got home from work. Right on.
Seems, but steadily, too. In 5 engine plants, this means 10 to 15,000 blocks a day.
Let's see what kind of motor they're making. And they still have panel fitment issues. Damn.
As they move along, the expendable molds are broken away from the metal.
Yeah, Bob.
Once the blocks have cooled, they will be cleaned and sandblasted. Then comes milling and fine finishing.
Small blocks. Those are Windsor motors. So 302s, like what I have in the 59. Yep, there's the line. There's the cylinder bore.
Which involves 22 different high-precision machines that perform over 600 operations. In this fully automatic operation, cylinder bores are measured and stamped with the piston size each requires, thereby ensuring proper piston fit throughout the engine. More precision equipment for quality control. This instrument measures the regularity of cylinder bores. The little balls on the glass tube line up, indicating that the bores have assumed the proper roundness and taper. If they don't, the block is rejected.
Yeah, you really don't want any taper at all in this. Maybe like just a slight amount. You don't want bore taper. Bore taper is bad. Bore taper is the reason why engines fail.
Now comes that vital and complex component.
Crankshaft. See the journals? They got the journals in, which means they're about to put the crank in. How common were injuries back then? It happens.
The crankshaft. Studs and journals secure the crankshaft in place.
Dude, look at this. Oh, this is so cool, man. Yeah, there were a lot of injuries back then, erudite, but that's what I mean about ergonomics, you know? And it's one of those things that you don't hear about with plants, and I'm sure SpaceX is doing this as well. Worker ergonomics is a huge, huge deal, right? One, so you don't hurt your workers, right? That's kind of important. The worst kind of employee is one that doesn't do the work for you because they're hurt, right? You don't want to hurt your workers. That is bad. There is a monetary incentive to not do that. But also, right, you don't want, like, once again, say, a part's coming down the line and you have to turn around and grab a part and put it here every time. That turning around, that 5 seconds of turnaround, that adds up. That time adds up. So there is multiple financial incentives to make it more ergonomic. So, like, instead of turning around for a part is right here. So you just take it there and move it there. So the guy doesn't have to move. That's what they focus on with assembling stuff nowadays. The ergonomics of it are so freaking important. One, so obviously, first and foremost, so nobody gets hurt. And two, right, you can optimize logistics if somebody doesn't have to move as much. That is a gross simplification, Aqualex, and you know it, so stop. Hey, Wolfpack, what's up, dude? That guy's torquing down the journals with a torque wrench.
Once again, that watchful eye. Meanwhile, pistons are receiving piston rings in another fully automatic operation.
Yeah, home planet, yeah, exactly. This is Detroit, towards this is the River Rouge. Or a casting plant that's down the street from it. Because engines would be made in a casting plant. You missed the piston rings? Let me see.
Then pistons meet blocks.
Yep. If we have to rebuild the 318, we're going to do that.
And
We
a
got to do
tap
that.
or two drives the piston home.
Yep.
A
So
plastic
there's,
fork guides the connecting
ring
rod
compressor.
onto the crankshaft.
dude, look at how
And a
fast
rod
they're
carrying
putting that
cap
damn thing
secures it
together.
there.
Dude, that's not. So this needs to be precise. Like the precision, the tolerance here needs to be super precise here, because if the crankshaft is like, like if it's like tilted one direction or another, inside of the journals, the whole engine will grenade itself. Like the fact that they're able to achieve that precision with like, and just, you know, slap it on there, tighten the bolts are good, and the tolerances are good is pretty crazy, dude. The machine put the rings in automatically. Cool. What's that tuning fork thing he's got? Listen. It's there to make sure that the studs on the connecting rod don't hit the crankshaft.
A simple check to make sure the engine turns freely.
Dude, how much power you think that frickin' wrench has to make it spin like that?
Then additions to the top of the engine, along with a dash of grease.
So those are your push rods right there. These are your valve springs, and each one, see how there's 4 groups of 2 on either side. So one of these is the air intake and exhaust valve on each bank. Those are the push rods. The push rod is actuated by a camshaft. The camshaft actually rides down here. The camshaft pushes on. Actually, those I think are the studs. I don't think those are the rods. I think that's the rocker arm studs. The push rods go through these holes right here. See that?
Valve springs, push rods.
There's your
rocker
push
arms.
rods. You see, there's lifters right here that ride on the camshaft, which is underneath this piece of metal, right? And the camshaft pushes a lifter, and the lifter pushes a push rod. The push rod will push a rocker arm that attaches to this, and that's what opens and closes the valves.
Now the classic look of the V8 engine, pioneered by Ford for mass production in 1932,
There's the rocker arms.
begins to emerge. We've made 40 million of them since then.
See that right there? That's the oil pump. That's the crankshaft snout. Bro, you see these dudes? You see these dudes just smoking ciggies on the line. It's badass, man. It's so cool.
Deft touch secures the pan.
It's just a different time,
If it
dude.
seems casual, it's only because these men know the required tightness exactly.
So that's the water pump right there. That's the front. This is the front of the engine. That's the crankshaft right there. There's your oil filter. And that's the oil pan. The sump, the oil pump and the sump is right behind the front of the pan here.
Finally, a protective coat of paint. And then a roar of light. This is called the hot line. Every Ford engine is run for about 10 minutes before shipment. 45 of them at a time in this plant.
It's an
Each is
FL1.
checked for
It really is, Bill, isn't it? It is an FL1.
Oil pressure, vacuum, leaks, noise level, idling smoothness, and exclusive with Ford, exact engine balance. In one of the most thorough tests of
That's not exclusive to Ford, but whatever.
any mass-produced
Hearing
engine
protection?
made.
Nah, son.
We move now.
Can I
to-
just go back and look at that shot of all those V8s just next to each other, please? Just for a second. Oh my god, how many small blocks are in the damn picture, dude? There's hundreds of them. Oh man. So that's where Blue Origin got it from, yeah. Right.
Is run for
Shut
about
up, man.
10 minutes before shipment. 45 of them at a time in this plant. Each is checked for oil pressure, vacuum, leaks, noise level.
How much is each one? In 1968, I don't know. I don't know how much a crate motor would have been in 68, dude. Probably like $300-400. Actually, probably less. Probably like 200 to 300 if I had to
Idling
guess.
smoothness, and exclusive with Ford, exact engine balance. In one of the most thorough tests of any mass-produced engine made. We move now to the final fusion of everything. The output of frame plants and stamping plants, body lines and paint lines, steel mills and vinyl mills.
Look, the drive shaft's in the car. The slip yoke isn't. They're gonna put the engine and the transmission in. And the transmission will hook up to the slip yoke right there.
Plants and glass plants all converge on Ford's 21 final assembly plants. There it takes about
See, the exhaust is
19
already
working
in.
hours for a car to be born.
There's the
In each
transmission.
of these hours, dozens of men will do something to assist its birth. Attach the rear end, mount the engine, add wheels and brakes.
Wait a minute. That wasn't a small block. Hold on. That's a C6 right there. So that's got to be a big block.
Dozens of men will do something to assist its birth.
That is a big block. Nice. 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 The 429, most likely. Or it could be a 390. I don't think that's an FE, though. The valve covers don't look right. Power. Yep.
Attach the rear end, mount the engine, add wheels and brakes.
There's a Thrift Power 6. Guys, I got my hands on one of these. One of those inline 6s, by the way. I forgot to tell you that. I scored one for nothing. I got it for free. I just got to go get it. The transmission looked as big as the engine. That's C6, Murray. The C6 is a heavy-duty transmission. It's like a truck transmission. It's one of those things right there. That is an inline 6. It's probably a 250. A 250 cubic inch, which is like, I don't know, like a 3.2 liter or something with a C4 behind it. Any plans for it?
Body.
I wanted to make it into a generator, actually.
Install.
What kind of condition? Oh, it runs. It ran. It was taken out of a Mustang. It was taken out of a 68 Mustang. Yeah, it's taken out of a 68 Mustang. Wouldn't this be an incredibly inefficient generator? What do you mean, Sig?
All seats.
An
and
inline
so on.
6? Hell no. Ford sold those inline 6s as generators, dude. Oh yeah, that's actually a really good motor for generators. Believe it or not. Smooth operation of the inline 6. It's very fuel efficient. Yeah. Non-zero chance it's the one in the video. Is it going into a 68 Mustang? It would have to be a 68 Mustang fastback. That's what it came out of. Could that be a stream building the generator? Why do you think I bought it, Rarest? I told you guys I want to do... Well, I didn't buy it. I got it for free. I told you guys I want to do things in the shop.
And functions. He presents a perfect picture of mass production at its best.
Bill, that is a Mustang. Who knows?
And yet, he proudly achieves quite the opposite result. For each of these cars is unique.
Those are Thunderbirds.
You could stand here on the line 8 hours a day for 65 years and never see two exactly alike. That's the wonder of the final assembly line.
I love factories. Factories make me so happy. It's so cool. I don't know what it is, dude. It's some missing link stuff. I could watch this all day. The dream scenario is to see rockets, see a rocket assembly line like this. Like, can you imagine if they're just hauling, like SpaceX just hauling Raptor engines around? Just boop, all right, put it in. All right, boop, put it in. Get a junk car to put it in as its enclosure. It's not a bad idea. Yeah, Wolfpack, it's so cool. Those are Thunderbirds. It's a 9-inch rear end. Look at those drums. What's that, Flykin? I don't care about those. That's an Ergomash. Who gives a fucking care about them?
Each of these automobiles has been specifically ordered by a customer or a dealer. And the customer has spelled out exactly what he wants. Disc brakes or drum brakes. White walls or black. Engine size. Automatic shift or 4 on the floor.
Bro, look at that bias ply tire. Oh my goodness.
Body style, color, trim, type of upholstery, and several dozen other items.
You may be cool, but you're not going to be as cool as the dude with a 5-lug impact driver. Alright? You can be cool, but you're never going to be that cool. That's a... Dude, that guy's got all the Ugga Duggas. You see that? You see the pipe that was feeding it? No, let me back up. Oh, wow. Look at the filter on that thing, Mutter. That is a heck of a pneumatic gun, dude. See, even the battery, dude. Hang the battery from the ceiling so guy doesn't have to pick it up and destroy his back. It's smart, dude. That's really cool. Coolant. Bumper. Those bumpers are heavy,
To
dude.
fill each customer's order, the assembly
See, even the seats. See the seats? It's all on rigs that hang from the ceiling. They still do that. That's how it's done, man. You don't want to lift that up. That would suck.
line is programmed on a computer, so that the sub-assemblies feeding components into the line
That's why hands up for
present
getting
the
it up.
exact items specified for each car as it moves along. To keep final assembly flowing smoothly, a 10-story tower is making its appearance in the Ford system. The tower acts as a kind of take-up loop. If parts of the line are moving too fast for other sections up ahead, mechanically completed automobiles can be shunted to the tower for temporary storage. There, automatic elevators tuck them away.
A fluid buffer for cars. It's a fluid buffer for cars. That's badass, man.
To a floor. Each car
That's
is
cool.
accompanied by its identifying punch card.
It is a buffer, Bob. That's awesome.
And when a slack
Oh, look at
occurs
the
on final
Falcons.
line, any of the 40 cars
Yo.
in the tower can be automatically.
You guys want to see something cool?
Car is
Watch
accompanied
this.
by its identifying punch card. And when a slack
So
occurs
this one
on the
right here.
final line, any of the 40
So check that out. That's a sedan. Not a lot of people know that. It's a sedan because it's a post car. See that? It's got a post on it. You see that huge bar, the B pillar, at the back of the door? Sedan, baby. 2-door sedan. Nowadays, sedans usually just means a car with 4 doors. But back in the day, sedan means the post, right? That's pretty cool, man. Falcons. Yeah, 68 Falcon, dude. That's a cool car.
I could home planet. That's not a bad idea, dude. Yeah, yeah, big old mags. Dude, I like Steelies. I think Steelies look sick.
Cars in the tower can
That's
be
just me.
automatically
But we
retrieved
need a wide
and
Steely.
returned to the line for final finishing. The trim, upholstery, and other items specified in the customer's original order.
You get a 64 Falcon wagon. Nice, Phil. Four-door with no post-head window levels called a hardtop. That's right. Watch this thing, this little caliper thing. It's going to set it down on it, and then they're going to pick it up and move it. Parts of the assembly line, the cars come through the ceiling. It's so freaking cool.
The final result is something quite special, provided that man approves. Here on the final line, 1 out of every 10 men is an inspector.
Still do this. Yeah. Tesla actually in their promo videos has showed off their final QA and inspection many times. They have a bunch of lights so you could see everything. These guys are looking, this is all QA right here. Everybody here is looking for a problem. Yep. Yeah, Hilness, it's pretty much industry standard.
And there's a lot to check out. Seats and doors, locks and latches.
They showed a little bit of it,
windows
Hilness, yeah.
and wipers, radios and heaters, electrical systems and mechanical systems.
That's cool,
metal,
Wizard.
Paint, everything. Now.
Did you see that? Did you see that?
Radios and heaters,
Watch the steering wheel.
electrical systems and mechanical systems, metal, paint, everything. Now.
Bro, we used to be a country. You see that steering wheel pops out of the way when you get in the car. That's Thunderbird, baby. Luxury cars, man. Luxury coupe. They just don't make stuff like that anymore.
A new car springs to life. And from here on out, everyone's an inspector.
That's badass, man. So that is definitely final assembly at Rouge. I've been in this building. That building's still there. That's where they do the tours. It's at the very front of the factory.
The dynamometer provides a simulated road test to check the
Getting a little bit of wheel hop there, huh?
engine, transmission, drivetrain, and rear end. Under bright
Did you put shocks in it, or?
lights that reveal everything, a last close look. Finally, the water test. Here, the car is subjected to a torrential downpour, the equivalent of driving through a hurricane at 70 miles an hour. It must not leak,
110
stall, or
kilometers an
short
hour.
out.
This is where rust is introduced.
If it passes this test, it gets a
That's
final
cool, Mother.
seal of approval, with one important exception.
And sometimes you gotta ask yourself, is this right for the company? And next Friday is Hawaiian t-shirt day, so just, go ahead and wear a Hawaiian t-shirt.
A car is born and leaves the assembly plant that gave it birth. With miraculous precision and split-second timing, 15,000 parts have been joined together to
Look
form
at all the
a unique
Mustangs.
automobile
Look at all the
for one
Mustangs.
American.
Oh! Oh my goodness. That's a lot of Mustangs.
A car is born and joins the ceaseless flow of other cars as they leave the assembly plant.
Dude.
Destination,
That's a Cougar XR7. That's actually a super cool car.
you name it. A car is born Born of imagination and ingenuity, shaped by technology, fabricated from the raw materials of the earth. These cars are designed to log more than 100,000 miles over the roads
That's
of
awesome,
America.
Joe.
Each is prepared for the driving conditions it will encounter there, and the motorist it will serve. American industry uses the moving assembly line to produce a car every 3.5 seconds.
Oh.
24 hours.
Oh, it's so cool. It's so badass, man. They still move them out by train, for what it's worth. F-150s are delivered by trains. Yeah, not a lot of people know that. They don't use trucks. Ford uses trains. Yeah, that train loading area is still there. I've seen it.
Hours a day, every day of the year.
Starship a day, let's go. It's gonna take some time, dudes. Do that in workers? We should do that in workers. Oh man, that's cool. Sorry guys. Yeah, the space news is not too big today. Like, I got through most of it, believe it or not. There's couple things here and there, but yeah, isn't that cool? Periscope Film is the name of that YouTube channel. It's so good, dude. I've never seen a 3-layered train car. Yeah. Did you see the L-174 footage? I did see a little bit of it. We covered it up at the top. Manufacturing nerdism every Thursday. MSC? Yeah. I kind of was okay with doing looking at car stuff because we're gonna play Summer Car now. Yo, my lauta. Old engine out of a WB-57. Oh no, better don't tell me. But yeah, I don't know if I told you guys about the inline 6 before. I got an inline 6. Oh. How much is it, Mutter? Current bid $2,000. Reserve not met. No, the game. Kind of happy and sad that 1960s cars in NASA were so awesome. We may have not done as well since then. Well, friend, dude, honestly, all right, you want my honest opinion? EJ's about to get real. We could sit there and we can pine for the good old times, or we can make our own good times.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
There's got to be a way to do it, dude. Make good times. Don't sit there and pine for the good old days. Like, I make this mistake a lot, but you know, we could do it. We could do it again. We gotta want to, though. That's where it starts. So make good times, dude. Right? Make good times. That's really important to understand. Update drivers, 42-month resub. Thank you. I always play permadeath in MSC,
Discovery,
Jim.
go at throttle up.
Yeah. Really, Willie? That's crazy, man. Why does Congress screw NASA so much? Because we allow them to, Ram. How's that? See, Kraken, what's that YouTube video? Oh, dude, do we have a new video from Vast? All right. All right, last thing, and then we're gonna switch over to Summer Car. I cannot play that music; they will get very mad at me. Guys, make good times. Trust me on this one. Vast. How big is it? It's vast. Oh, look, more manufacturing pornography. Oh, 5-axis mill. Oh, that's a control moment gyro. That's the SAS. That's what an SAS looks like in real life. Oh, anodized. Nice. I haven't seen it, Wisp, unless if it was recent. No, but if it's not recent, I haven't seen it. Dude, that is sexy. Whoa. Hang on.
Anodized billet. I really appreciate what's on the screen right now. Flight article manufacturing has started. Oh, so cool, dude. We got to choose to, friend. It starts with us wanting to. The reason why it's gotten so crappy is because we didn't want to anymore. But, you know, like, let's take car manufacturing for an example, right? Before we get back to that. Take car manufacturing. Everybody thought, nobody, you know, 20 years ago, everybody's like, no one's going to make a new car company. No one's going to make a new car company. There hasn't been a new car company. The industry's consolidated. That's it. No one's going to make a new car company. It's going to be the big three forever. And some guy came along that, you know, disagreed with that sentiment because he wanted to. Tesla came along, right? There you go. Look at, dude. There's the big three, and then there's Tesla. Tesla's a gigantic automotive manufacturer. You can do it. You just got to want to. You know? We got to want to. We got to decide that that's what we want to do. Like, that Kennedy speech still rings true to this day. That's why it's such a damn good speech. Because it's not just about, you know, like rallying your base or whatever, which is what everybody likes to do now, which is dumb. It's a poignant statement about that particular microcosm in time of, you know, what we could be and what we should strive to be. That's why, oh, it's so good. I love that speech so much, dude. We gotta want to, though. He's right. You gotta want to. That's so important. We gotta want to do stuff like this. You want to do stuff like this, go do stuff like this. You gotta want to, though. You gotta want it. I gotta be careful with the music. Engines. Okay, check that out. Oh, what do we have here? Impulse. The Haven 1 thrusters are Impulse. Interesting. You don't think Tesla's going to get gobbled up by Stellantis soon enough? Ugh. No, please. Sig, why would that sentence even come out of your mouth? Took a super weird dude with a lot of money. The logic of not was sound, but yeah, decided. You know, Bob, you know why we fail so much is because, well, Elon only succeeded because he had a lot of money. Yeah, okay. All right. That's not wanting to do something, you know. Oh. Engine light up. Is this going to the space station? No, Aaron, this is going to be a standalone commercial space station. Yep. That's right, friend. Yep. The vast control unit. What the hell's going on there? Maximum power point tracker. It's bumping. Wet trash container. Battery. Oh, dude, look at that. That's the battery fig cart. No, battery manufacturing cart. Cool. How do you think America can reindustrialize? Well, I'm trying not to give a political answer. Okay, so we want because of what's going on, we want to try to make everything here. A noble goal, sure, absolutely. Some people think that can be done, some people think it can't. What I will say this is what my dad says, and I'm not gonna be like, oh, my dad worked at X-Plant. My dad's a machinist. He's been a machinist for like 40 years. Look, it took 40 years for it to get to this point. It's gonna take. It's not gonna get done overnight. You know, if we wanted to reindustrialize and go back to like making everything here, right? Which seems to be what is the sentiment from certain parties involved. I'm trying. Don't say anything, please. Please spare me. We're talking about reindustrializing, okay? If we wanted to do it, we'd have to start with. It would start with nuts and bolts. Start with raw materials, mining, mineral rights. That's where it would start. That's where you would want to start. That's how this whole thing. How did the Industrial Revolution happen? The Industrial Revolution in the UK couldn't have happened without mines, without tin mines in Cornwall, without coal mines and iron mines in the Midlands. They couldn't have happened without that. So that's where I would start there. Because if you increase mining, oil, mineral rights, stuff like that, more raw materials into the market, right? You increase the supply, you decrease. You increase the supply, you decrease demand. Keep in mind, this is a very, very, very simple way to do this. Like, it's way more complicated than this, and I get it. I would start with mining and raw materials, because if you make all that cheaper, everything else falls into line. Great on paper kind of idea. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's going to be a hard thing to do, man. And I think my dad's right. It would take a while to get back to the point where we're making everything here. But it can be done. We got to want to do it, though. That's the point. You got to want to. Yeah, energy and raw materials would probably be where I'd start. I would start because you want to make more car factories here. That's great. Where are they getting their steel from? It's just like playing workers, dude. It's the same idea. Workers is a little bit of it's abstracted comparatively to real life, right? It's just a game, but that's the idea. Where are you going to get the steel from? So you want to make cars, right? You want to make more cars here. We don't want to make cars in Canada and Mexico anymore. Where are you getting the steel from? Where do they get the steel from? More importantly, it's not just mines. Like, okay, say we find an oil field in the middle of Oklahoma somewhere. The biggest oil field we've ever found. Like, we've somehow never found it before us. Okay. What do you do to get people there? Right? Like, and once again, I'm not saying this is like, oh, this will never get done. We could do it. You got to want to do it. Right? Say we tap into new oil fields. We make new steel mills and new iron mines. Where are we putting these? Where are they going? They have to go in a place that has an industrial base to build that in the first place. Right? This is a complicated puzzle to solve, but that's where I'd start. Start with raw materials, iron mines, coal mines, oil production, incentivize that and ramp that up as much as you possibly can, and then go from there. Like, this is a huge puzzle to unwind here. Ars Technica just linked an essay about this. The essay pointed out that China has added lots of power production. We're basically flat. Corthinos, yeah, Willie said it in chat. We need more power. What do mines run off of? What do mining vehicles run off of? They run off of oil. Could we make them run off electricity? That's sure. Where are you getting the electricity from? I personally would like nuclear, but I think, okay, if it was up to me, I would champion every single form of power. I don't care what it is. Energy is the name of the game here. All right. It's not oil. It's not nuclear, wind, solar, hydro, geo. It's not any one particular thing. It's everything. All of it. Because if you generate more power than anybody else, who cares? Right? Thorium, yeah, bring it on, dude. Where's our particle accelerators on this continent? Why don't we have those? Ridiculous. Why shipbuilding? Like, why don't we do that here? Like, that's what you got. You got to start with raw materials. You need raw materials to do all that. Energy storage, man. Yeah, we should be pioneering ways to make better batteries, dude. Like, I mean, Elon's kind of doing that already, but we need some Dyson Sphere program stuff. Yeah. But once again, guys, you know, I'm not saying this to say that it can't be done. It can be done, sure. We got to want to do it. We got to collectively decide that we want to do it. And this, with the divisive environment that we've been that's been forged, that's going to be hard to do. You know, it's going to be a hard thing to do, but we can do it. I know we can do it. Put people on the moon, man. Of course we can do it. Congress defunded our CERN competitor. It was going to be 2 times the size. Yeah, I know. Why did we allow them to do this? Fermilab's in their backyard. Yeah. We have all this infrastructure that we already have that's designed to do cool stuff like this. It's like when we were talking about, you know, when we were watching Rook's Confirmation the other day. Dudes, we were watching Rook's Confirmation, and, you know, they said, what are you going to do about not shutting down NASA facilities? I'd be like, well, shutting down NASA facilities? What are you, crazy? Why would we do that? I want to use these damn facilities. I don't want to shut them down. Why would we shut them down? That's stupid. We want to do all these things. The U.S. has the best spaceflight facilities in the world by a long shot. Like, not to say, like, I'm not dumping on, like, Kourou or Knez or ESA or even Russia. Like, bro, we have facilities that built the Saturn V. Like, we have all this stuff. Like, we should use it? Like, I don't know. He's not confirmed yet, Pop. Congress is on vacation. They're on vacation for Easter and Passover. I wasn't born, man. I'm sorry. Don't worry about it. Yeah, it's all good, man. You know, but like, you know, Sig, you're saying we need more central planning, 5-year plans or something. I mean, I'm not going to say that we wouldn't benefit from something like that. But we got to want to, dudes. That's the real thing. I think that's the big difference between us and our, you know, our near peer adversaries in the Near East, dude. They got to drive. They got a bone to pick under their belt, you know? We still have that, but it's not, I don't think it's the same, but we got, once again, we got to want to. You have to want to. You have to want it. You want to bring steel manufacture here? You want to bring Pittsburgh back? And have Pittsburgh be the steel capital of the world, making the best steel ever, like ever devised by man, because it's not about making a lot of it, it's about making it better, right? You want to do that stuff, we got to want to. We got to collectively decide that we want to do that. That's a hard thing to do. If you want to use the facilities, you will be in a fight with employees who don't want to work more than 40 hours a week. Why don't they want to work 40 hours a week? Either make a lot cheaply or less at very high quality. That's bullcrap, Sig. No, that's not right at all. You can reach a critical mass where you can mass produce a good product if you make a lot of it. Look at SpaceX. That's a great example. Look at Ford back in the day. That's a great example. SIG is something that's, I know it's the next country over. Volvo is a good example of that. 240 Volvos is an amazing car. That's an amazing car, and Volvo made millions of those things. You can do quality in mass production. It just takes time. It takes time to get that right. Don't tell me it can't be done. I refuse to believe that. Yeah, Vanguard, we gotta want to. 56% of NASA employees there. About 40, they kind of burn their energy working from the 20s and 30s in the private sector. You know, when it should start feeling over 40 hours. That's not our fit work and does. Whatever, dude. We've talked about that, Baron. They gotta want to. You gotta want to.
I mean, yeah, dudes, we gotta want to. Like, that's what it really comes down to. The thing sucks is that we were paying now for the mistakes of our predecessors. It blows, spoiled, but what's the solution? Be like them? I'm not doing that. No. No cushy 40-hour work week job for me. Frick that. I ain't like that. I'm not like those people. I don't do that. I work. You know? Not everybody needs to be like this, but I ain't gonna be like that. Hell no. I went through the first 20 freaking years of my life being a lazy turd. I'm not doing that again. Ever. Yeah, well, it's going to take a while to unscrew that, Vanguard. I miss at the start of the stream every day because I'm at work. Yeah, there you go. Anyway, guys, I'm not trying to turn this into some apathetic thing. You asked me how to reindustrialize. Start with mineral rights and raw materials. That's where I'd start. You can't do anything else without those. You need raw materials, you need mineral rights, you need mining to make power plants. Power plants make you more energy, and then if we produce more, right? You produce more raw materials, everything else falls into line from there. If steel is super cheap over here and it's better quality than overseas, people are going to want to manufacture here. It's not just about bringing jobs back and forth like what everybody says. You have to have the industrial base here. We don't have that. And it's going to take time to rebuild it. We could do it though. Oh, I know Americans. We can do it. We just got to be incentivized to do it. Not incentivized. You have to have the right kick in the pants. That's hard to do nowadays. It's complicated. It's not like in times of Kennedy, you know? We have the potential for so much, Sea Kraken. Exactly, dude. Yeah. That's why I foster that type of behavior with you guys. I teach you to think about stuff. Like Sea Kraken, you asked about trains versus crawlers for 39A. I didn't just say, oh, the crawler's better. I showed you why. You know, you want to maintain a 4-track train infrastructure going from 39A to 39B, all the locomotives, all you need, might as well just build a one-off vehicle at that point. And that's what they did. And it spreads the load better, and the crawlerway is more reusable that way. It makes perfect sense. I try to talk you guys through this stuff. You know, it's important. You know, everything can be done. You think the Apollo engineers you think they were like, oh, you know, trains aren't going to work. That sucks. No. We'll build a freaking vehicle. Build it out of spare steam shovel parts. Let's go. Got to have that can-do attitude, man. If we want to do stuff like that, you want to do stuff like going to the moon, you want to do stuff like, you know, building bridges and building highways and high-speed rail, you have to have the can-do attitude. You can't, if you don't have it, it's not going to get done. Do you think if we want to do it that fast, the government should subsidize the material production cycle to make them cheaper for industry? Worked for commercial crew. It's a one-off vehicle, Sig, that's basically made out of 4 crawlers all put together into one thing. Yeah, home planet. Like, once again, guys, don't get confused. I don't want this to be, if we're going to talk about this, I don't want this to be some venue where everybody's like, oh, it used to be good. It used to be good. Stop doing that shit. Stop it. Stop it. That doesn't help. Figure it out. You want to get back to that? We got to make our own good times, dude, because it's clear no one's going to help. Right? Starts with mentality. We can't be like that.
I think it's because we stopped smoking. Bro, if you think smoking went away, I think that's ridiculous, dude. How many kids you see vaping nowadays, NX? I don't think they solved that problem. In fact, I think the incessant drive to get smoking out of everyone's daily life paved the way to vaping, and a lot more people vape than smoke. Personal opinion. All you did was force the tobacco industry to innovate and engineer their way around making cigarettes. Good job. Whoops!
We had a talk in university like this. We brainstormed about it. The winning answer was the U.S. should get into a world war. Ugh. No. The Industrial Revolution happened without any wars, man. Go watch Good Night and Good Luck. See how much they smoked back then. Never went away, but it nearly ended. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, all right. It's 8:30. Let's play some summer car, dude. We can keep talking about this if you want. But Apollo is because of the Cold War. Cold Wars aren't world wars. It's not a hot war, dude.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Disagree the Civil War counts. I mean, war is a good way to industrialize, sure. But fellas, this is the kind of crap I'm talking about, dudes. They do this nonsense with the space program, and I hate it every time somebody mentions this. We see it in congressional meetings. We see NASA talking about it. We saw Bill Nelson talk about it. We saw everybody talk about it. You know, they're talking about getting in a space race with China. Congress is concerned about space race with China, space race with China, space race with China. And some people that see that as an avenue for getting back to the moon. And yes, it would be nice to beat the Chinese back to the moon. You know, space race 2.0. But you entirely miss the point that a space race is inviting stagnation in the long term. You're inviting stagnation. Why? When was the last time we went to the moon? Oh, when we won the space race 50 plus years ago. We're repeating the same mistakes. You don't... Drunk Soul... That's a very astute thing to say, that war drives industry, and it's absolutely right. But also, at the same time, we're just going to repeat the same stupid mistakes that we made? Oh, we want to drive industry. The solution is another war. Does that sound like okay to anybody here? Like, screw that. Screw that. I don't need an excuse to want to build more stuff to give my children, my potential children in the future, a better future. I don't need a war. I don't need a justification. The justification is self-evident. Right? Like, that's bullshit. Sorry, excuse my language. This stuff is really near and dear to me, man. Sorry. I'm getting a little wound up. The old DJ's getting a little wound up. Tesla's a good example. SpaceX is a good example, sure. No, Drungzol. I'm not saying a war isn't a good catalyst for industrial innovation. It absolutely is. My question to you is, if we know that war is a solution there, and death and destruction is our means, is our catalyst for industrial innovation, why would we repeat that same mistake? Why would we do that? You could just do the industrialization part and not do the war part. Just saying, like, you could do it. We could do that. It clearly can be done. Like, war is a brute force way of progress. That's just, yeah.
Whatever. I don't know. That's not a good way to do things, because then that gets you into perpetual wars. You gotta want to. It starts with us. Like, wanting for a better future is self-evident. You don't need any other excuse. After that, we'll have more roundabouts, though. Oh, God. Yeah, Bob, that's decent, sure. To be fair, Palmer Lucky is cooking his tech is insanely cool, albeit deadly. I don't know what that means, but alright. Would you choose to continue updating the Saturn V or the shuttle? And don't say both. Saturn V every day of the week, Pop. Why? You have a rocket that can get to the moon. Why would you retool your entire industrial base? That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. You have an operational vehicle that has gone to the moon 6 times. Why would you say, no, we don't need to do this. We could do this better in a different way. No. Doing it better in a different way is just making more Saturn Vs. Optimize your production line and go from there. Lower the cost of Saturn V, albeit being expendable to the point where you can expend it every time and it's not a big deal. Then you work on reusability from there. It's almost like somebody did this with a 9-engined rocket a little while back. What was the name of that thing? Chewbacca 9 or whatever, or R2-D2 9 or something, and... That's SpaceX's defense contractor. Yeah, that thing. Yeah, okay, whatever. Millennium Falcon, Aluminum Falcon 9 or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, let's switch over to MSC. But S, you want to know how to reindustrialize. That's how you reindustrialize. We'll watch the rest of the vast video tomorrow, guys. I'll put it up tomorrow. Let's go. That's the way to do it. Start with raw materials. And the biggest thing, you gotta want to. There's no excuse. There's no other way to get around that. You have to want to. If we're gonna sit here and let entropy set in and be apathetic about everything, well, we can't do that because of this, because of this. Yeah. All right. Yeah, we're definitely not gonna do it that way. Sorry. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if people want to hear this or not. Like, you tell me. If not, I'll just shut up and play Summer Car. Okay. All right, I'm going to jog the YouTube vid, dudes. Good conversations, I think. Let me know. If you don't want me to talk about this stuff, yeah, let me know. See last. What's up, Drunk Saul? Last thing real quick. What will push for the reindustrialization? What's going to urge people from living in their rooms to going into factories? I'm going to say we're lazy, work for so we can't keep up, and have to get down as a catalyst. We need to urge a catalyst. War is a good one. Do you think it's a good catalyst to push people to do more? Seen you talking with Chad about work hours. Yes, what will be the urge? Public sectors and paying ones. JPL is a prime example. It starts, honestly, it starts with wanting to do it. It starts from the top. Like, you know, Kennedy's speech to Apollo was challenging us. You know, it wasn't saying we're going to do this. It says, I think we should do this, you know? Anyway. Yeah, Grim, yeah. Kind of interested to see when SpaceX does full orbital testing of Starship. Yeah, we all are, dude. Are we wrenching something tonight? In Summer Car, Bestardo, yeah. I'll jog the VOD, guys. We can keep this conversation going on the other side of this. I'll be back in a second. YouTube, stand by for a brief loss of signal. Twitch, just stay here and enjoy the tunes. I'll be back in a moment.